Yeah. Well, yeah. Venom. All I spit is venom. A cobra. It's my teeth and I'ma ride till it's over. I'm never sober. I'm up now. Say you want pistol play. Well, then it's blah, blah. Cause I'm the pastor, leader of the in church. Get to out in public, give up who I hurt. Them hits was weak for the two triple O. Bitch, ask me if I got your CD. Nah, ho. You gotta know it. If you don't know it, get off the stream. Good morning, y'all. Happy Sunday. How's everybody doing? What are we back? What episode? SARS 2 Podcast 417. It's your boy ARP, and we are here on a beautiful Sunday morning. What is it? 7:45 a.m. Yep, I'm on time. I'm 99.9% of the time on time with my streams and start times, right? We got a lot to go over today, man. Did y'all see yesterday's stream? This will be similar. We have a couple continuation topics that we covered last week. Some updates. We got some paperwork to go through. Let's see. We're gonna start off with the topic of is spaces killing or hurting battle rap? I see that's a big topic in battle rap. I owe y'all more battle rap topics in my lives, and I got y'all. I promise. I'm never abandoning battle rap ever, 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 ever. I have too deep of a legacy in battle rap. Battle rap needs to remain topics that are always on the Sorry Shoe podcast. What else do I got? We got updates in Rodney Hinton Jr.'s case. We've been covering that. This will be the third time that we head over into that direction. Very emotional topic, but we're going to stay on top of that. I want to keep up with that trial. I want to keep up with the updates on that one. Next up, we got the game. We've been talking about the game losing that lawsuit. Looks like $7 million lawsuit default judgment that he had. If he sells his mansion, which is listed on Zillow for approximately $4 million, he would still owe more money to this case that he lost to Priscilla Rainey, right? But as many times as we talked about it and we covered it, we never brought the actual paperwork up. I'm going to bring the paperwork and we're going to read the full allegations of the night in question, which pushed this woman towards filing this lawsuit. And then we're going to try to break down, is this still justified? Is this a money grab? Was game wrong? We'll get into that. All right. Finally, the paperwork. Benzino's being called out by Wack 100 as being a snitch. I want to get into the topic of, are you a snitch if you take the stand and you testify? And then we also got some of that paperwork that we're going to take a look at, just a clip of it, as well as some articles back in the day that brought about the situation to begin with. So I did a little bit of homework for y'all there. What else do we got? Wack 100. He's on this campaign right now to paint Loose Cannon as a snitch. We're going to look a little bit into that. We're going to play the clips from Wack 100's accusation saying even why Little Dirk's bond was denied. So kind of like two Wack 100 topics mixed in together. Big use paperwork. We're going to bring up some of his updates from his docket. Make sure we're keeping an eye on what's going on there. And what else we got? I did see it. Yes. Two members from Oblak, King Von affiliates that recently lost their lives in a shooting. I believe it was outside of a bar. Unfortunate, man. But we'll take a look at what's going on with that. I got some movies to bring up. I got some music to bring up. I'll save that for the end. You know how we do over here. We have a little bit of fun. Okay. Give me about a quick 60 seconds before we start. I want to make sure that I continue to remind people that watch the public streams some of the changes that have happened on the channel, okay? Anybody that has been tuned in consistently to our live streams, especially last week, you realize what the hell happened. I no longer have access. What have been the changes? Monday through Friday, the full stream episodes on YouTube are only available to members only, okay? If you go Monday through Friday, what you're going to see on the channel, make sure you have your notifications and your subscribers all up to date on the channel, because all day, every day, Monday through Friday, you will probably see anywhere from 4 to 7 clips go up, okay? The general news clips per topic that we discuss in our streams, you will see them going up every day, Monday through Friday. And also the full episode, the full live will go up as well as an upload, okay? But if you want to tune in to the actual full episodes Monday through Friday, you have to be a member. On Saturdays and Sundays, same as Monday through Friday, full clips will be available up for everybody, general subscribers, full YouTube public. But those streams, I'm not going to set to members only, okay? Saturdays and Sundays, if you want to catch a full stream, don't need to be a member. Monday through Friday, if you want to see the full stream, you have to be a member, but you still, if you don't want to be a member, you can still see every topic that we covered that I choose to upload. So then what do you lose Monday through Friday if you're not a member? You will lose access to seeing some of the stuff like if we talk about life, if we talk about general topics, when people ask me questions, or if I go on tirades that aren't really specific to the people that we cover. When I do stuff like we hang out at the end of the streams and we go over movies and music and stuff like that, I'm not going to clip that and upload that for the general YouTube public. That's more so for the people that love the interactive nature of the streams. Okay. I'm not going to clip that for people that are just looking for news. Then you got like little transition moments and whatnot where we have little fun here and there that's not specific to the news. There's no need for me to clip that out. Okay. So that's going to remain in the streams. Monday through Friday, I have to be a member to see that. Or you can catch it on Spotify. Now, Spotify will always be available for every 7 days a week. Every single stream that we do, full episodes will be available on Spotify. Link is in description. Continue to tweet me, or I try to keep up my DMs as much as possible on IG. If you have any questions or any unclarity, or if you have any feedback, I'm always open to criticism and feedback as long as it's respectful. I hear out everybody that supports the podcast. Okay. All right, let's get moving. We're going to start off with is spaces killing battle rap? I see it's got a lot of legs. Big topic in battle rap right now. Looks like DNA kicked all this off. So let's check out the DNA clip, and then I'll break down some of my opinions on this.
Right. Y'all not qualified to have a conversation with me about battle rap because, nigga, you don't know battle rap the way I know battle rap. So why the fuck would I be arguing with you on camera? Why would I be arguing about you in a space? Because you're not coming from a subjective place, or you talking about something that you qualified in. Why the fuck would I be going to the Mercedes dealership? Because unless I'm somebody that really knows about cars and I got different type of qualifications to make me be able to think I can tell the guy that's been selling cars for 20 years more about cars. You know what they're going to tell you at Mercedes? Get the fuck out of here, homie. This is my job. I'm ready to sell cars to somebody that wants to listen to the shit that I know about. Battle rappers get so happy that people are, that's what I mean. You're not a superstar if you're in awe because somebody wants to talk about you. So now you're going to go in spaces and you're going to talk to Joe Smo all day and he's going to tell you this. And now Joe Smo is your friend. And now you and Joe Smo, no, bro, you're not qualified. No, that's the worst shit that happened to battle rap. That's where it started. And guess what they do in there? Guess why also it's bad? They don't even talk about battle rap in there. I will never go in there. You'll never, I'm not, for what? Y'all not even talking about it. And the times that I go in there, I did. And I talk about battle rap. But y'all be in there talking about who this one did what way and that one. And that's the problem with battle rap now. That's the worst thing ever. Because think about what happens in there. It's a bunch of people that shouldn't even be talked about. Now they have a name. And niggas is running around dropping it in bars and doing all sorts like.
And do you think like I think like battle rappers are giving them too much access?
Yes.
And especially
they're gonna hate me after this because they want the access and it's been given. So now that there's somebody getting on camera saying stripe it, that's removed. I think it sets a dumbass up. You're not even in battle rap. But I'm just telling y'all, you can take it or not. I've advanced past that. I know what it takes. That's not it. That's not it. Arguing all day. And let's be honest, bro. Like,
especially you're arguing with people that you've never even met. You don't even know person.
Not qualified. People get so offensive about that. I played my role, bro. I don't know too much about cars. I ain't going to sit there and argue with a nigga about cars. I don't know too much about a lot of things. Whatever I'm not qualified for, I'm not going to enter the conversation. But people make them think they qualify. Just because you watch something, you're not qualified. What makes me think I could go on TNT and start arguing with LeBron because he had a bad game? You're not qualified,
and LeBron's not going to argue with you.
He's definitely not. You're not going to answer. He's not going to answer.
Right.
But that's why they be thinking I'm bugging because I don't. Or you can say whatever. They're going to say a lot after this. And guess what? I'm going to talk to you. I'm not going to answer. So salute.
Yeah.
And I've done it before. So that's why I've learned. I've done it. I've got so emotionally invested about the craft that I argued, and I had to tell myself, one, that's not like my style. Two, why don't you get on stage and be able to entertain all these people and do that, and you see how easy it is, and you come back to me. And three, you're not qualified. The worst battle rapper is the best battle rappers because they're able to do it. So the only people that get to really make that judgment is us.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it right there. There's a lot of topics that I was actually jotting some of them down as I was watching that. They was coming to mind as I was listening to DNA. I do this live with y'all in flight, so I just don't want to make sure I don't miss any. Um, Let me just answer one quick thing that he said at the end, and then I'm gonna get into his point specific as well as other people's points that I believe is happening with this topic. Um, no, I definitely disagree with DNA's just the last piece of what he said, that the people that are qualified. I'm not sure. I don't want to misquote him. I don't think he said only, but it should never be about only people that would be qualified to talk on a given space if they're the ones that do it. I am overly qualified to talk about battle rap, and I don't battle rap. Right? I've never stood on stage and delivered rounds to an audience or to an opponent, and I never will. Okay, but I'm super overqualified. I'm more qualified to talk about battle rap than a lot of battle rappers. Real shit. There's a lot of battle rappers that I would talk circles around. I would tell that, you know how many battle rappers I've coached or told how they can be a better battle rapper, and not just from the standpoint of hey, deliver it like this, or change this bar and put this sequence like this, or stay away. And I do that too, right? It's just from a creative standpoint, and somebody that's been in the space so long and understanding what works and what doesn't. As much as I can do that, understand that battle rappers that spar together should be able to do that better than I can, right? But there's so much that I've offered battle rappers over the years, as far as feedback, as far as advice, as far as how you can get to the next level, as far as what you need to change, what you can do better. From God tiers all the way down to up and comers. I've done that. I've done that in a very, very helpful way. So I'm super qualified to talk about battle rap. Um, but now, before I get into other people that are speaking on this topic and some of the sub topics, like I'm going to get to Hitman. I listened to Hitman Spaces addressing and answering this. Let me stay on the DNA point for a second. I think there's multiple conversations at play. One of the main targets that it seemed DNA was going after was being qualified and qualifications, right? Take somebody that's qualified out of the equation, right? Take them off the table. Let's talk about just general spaces. Can I agree with DNA? Generally, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, when I tune into ESPN, or when I watch let's say First Take, my favorite sports analysts, Chris Broussard and Nick Wright, right? Chris Broussard might be my number one favorite, especially on the NBA side. He might be my number one favorite sports analyst. I have no clue how much basketball he's played, but he is one of the smartest, most knowledgeable, has some of the best takes about sports. If I missed last night's games because they was playing on the West Coast and I fell asleep, I wake up and I'm totally fine listening to what the hell he got to tell me. He is so qualified, right? But you don't have 20 Chris Broussards talking in spaces about last night's battle that just happened. Oh, Easy and Swamp just completed. Let me go pull up on Chris Broussard in spaces and see what they're saying. That's not the case in battle rap. There are a shitload of people in spaces. They really don't know what the fuck they talk about. It is true. It is true. They haven't. How do you develop that type of experience? Look at somebody like a look at any sports announcer or sports analyst, that even the ones that are unliked. Okay. Um, the reason why they still have credentials to them is the amount of time that they've put into the field. The amount of time that you put into the field and the amount of credentials that you can present will categorize somebody as like, okay, you are worthy, even if you never shot a basketball or rapped a ball before. Okay. So think about somebody in spaces and you have no idea what their credentials are. Me, if I jump in spaces and people ask me, ARP, what's your understanding of this topic? What's your thoughts on this topic? What's ARP's credentials? So what's above battle rap? Hip hop, right? That's the top. That's the parent. What's my credentials in hip hop? We kind of watched this guy talk about music since we met him. Some of y'all have met me online like 15 years ago when I was just blogging before I became a league owner, right? Like 15 years ago, he's been talking about music. He's been talking about battle rap. Okay, how about in the mix? In the mix is where you get the most experience. We've watched this guy travel across the country, out the country. We watched him host his own events for 10 plus years. So he's right there. Business side, they don't even question. Battle rap side, like it's right there for you to see. What's his credentials now, even past that? How about of all these spaces that he's been in, whether he was blogging, whether he was being a league owner, did he do a good job at it? Well, my resume is my resume. So my credentials are very strong. I don't know the credentials of some of those mother in spaces. So somebody that wants to sit there and say, this is why Easy the Block Captain lost to Swamp or Swamp lost to Easy last night. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But do you have credentials to actually be a worthy voice is a big difference. Have you been in a journalistic space on the ground, getting the experience of what it's like to attend these events or play any role? And you could play a role just as a fan, right? You could just be a fan. But what type of fan are you? We don't have access to your credentials at all, right? So I think that's a part of DNA's problem. And I understand it. Like somebody that I have no credential background on, if they want to get into space and talk for 45 minutes about why they think I'm the worst league owner ever, like I want to understand who I'm listening to first. What are you standing on? What's your foundation? Then let's see why you're right, why you're wrong, why you have good opinions, good feedback. I want to know your motivations. So now when we talk about, let's take it a step further, qualifications. I'm going to bleed this into what I think one of the problems that DNA kind of alluded to as well. He said, now this battle rap is in there and people are in awe of you. These are some of the words that he used. And he said, next thing you know, this person's your friend. What is he alluding to there? That didn't fly over my head. What is he alluding to? There's probably some examples that people would pull from his comment there, right? There's probably a couple in battle rap, right? Let me just take a step back because I don't want to make that specific. I just want to try to generalize that regardless of where y'all minds go for that point that he made. When we meet people in spaces and then they become a figure or a name in battle rap, it happens for good reasons as well as bad reasons. Battle rap says all the time. Battle rappers say it, bloggers say it, league owners say it, hell, even fans say it. This is a come one, come all type of space. Nobody gets checked. Nobody's backgrounds is checked. Nobody's credentials are validated. You can become a blogger just by cutting the camera on, and now you have an opinion on a battle rapper that's been doing this for 15 years. You could come in as a negative person. You could just be like, man, I'm just here for the controversial clicks, and I just want to tear down Mook, Lux, Hitman, Cassidy, Hollow, Will, Big K, show off, and like, who is this person? All he got, his channel is full of just negativity and hate. Who is this? Got a voice now because fans are clicking them. You know, same thing happens with the bloggers. Same thing happens with battle rappers. Who are these people? Y'all say it all the time. This super gangster. Then you hear this over here, and it's just like, how did you get there? You know, like we all believe that this was different about you. Battle rap is the most welcoming space ever, right? Now, what's to me one of the most, if not the most addictive drugs in the world? I say attention. That's just it's not crystal meth. It's not crack to me. It's not heroin. It's not cocaine. It's not weed. It's attention. That's just my personal opinion. That's a whole nother topic within itself. Being able to get next to some of these league owners, these bloggers, these battlers, right? The attention that you could also get from being in these spaces, going back and forth with them, it has birthed people, yes, right? But I know one name that people have been using this topic on a lot, and I'm going to say this particular person's name to make my point. The Boss, okay? Now, the Boss kind of got known, I think, around Midnight Madness times, maybe. I think she was in a bunch of spaces with Surf. Fast forward, she had a lot of activity side by side with Verb, but I think the height of her profile now is working alongside Bags and Bodies and Hitman Holla, right? Let me tell you something about the Boss, though, from my personal interactions. All that other controversy that's going on, I don't give two shits about it. You know what I'm saying? I just want to talk about her as a person when it relates to battle rap. Are there people that came into spaces and got known from spaces that is just like, who is this? Why are you here? Absolutely. But one thing that I have a lot of respect for about the Boss is she actually is productive. I don't listen to her spaces, You know what I'm saying? Like I don't listen to almost anybody's spaces unless it becomes a big topic and then it starts flying around YouTube. Other than that, I don't follow spaces. That's just me. But one thing about her, if she's not a part of Bags and Bodies, Hitman Holla has a harder job. Because I watch the way that she moves and I watch the way that she works. Hitman Holla is in a unique position from a lot of different league owners. I mean, other battlers have done it before, but he's that battle rapper that has to show up, be the main event as a battle rapper, as well as the person that will get all the blame, the fucking league owner, right? You know who helps him field a lot of that? Who makes a lot of these phone calls and text messages? Hey, be here at this time, do this. Flights is okay. Flight got canceled. We got to change this. We got to make this call, whatever. Of course, he got his lady helping him. He's got other associates that's helping him. And shout out to Sin. Got associates that's helping him. But purely that really, really helps the business side of things and organization of things, because you don't understand how much is involved in running a fucking event until you do it yourself. You know who helps him? The boss. The boss. Right? Very, very productive to just a situation that has to be organized. I've been on conference calls with this woman. She's very, very intelligent. Very, very intelligent. All right. So I give her kudos there. But here's the thing. Not everybody is. There's still other people that have come out of spaces and it's like, who the fuck are you? You know what I'm saying? Why do you have this opinion and why is it valid? So I understand where DNA is coming from. So multiple things could be right. Now, let's go to Hitman's argument, because I listened to Hitman Spaces yesterday, or I saw an up. Shout out to Polar World. I played it there. And Hitman pretty much is responding to DNA's topic. He gave a very, very, very good take on promotion, right? Now, if you listen to everything I just broke down about DNA's argument, and then you go listen to Hitman Holla's response, I don't even think they're talking about the same thing as it relates to spaces, my opinion, from what I interpreted. I think DNA is talking about people that's not qualified. I think Hitman is talking about nobody being too big to be in spaces and promotion. I think it's two different conversations. So if you just catch DNA's just general title, Spaces is killing battle rap, and then you listen to Hitman for 5 seconds, so you catch his title, it says, no, Spaces is okay. Then you would think that they're at odds. I think they're having two totally different conversations. Okay, so let's talk about Hitman's side. Promotion, nobody being too big. He broke down very humble angles about him being on Wildin' Out and not having to promote like that for Wildin' Out. I see that myself when I'm listening to him saying, I'm like, yeah, that's a fact. I see that shit. What do I see pop up when I scroll my Instagram and the people I follow? Right? I might see a Hitman put a little fucking video up on his Instagram. He's driving his car. Hey, y'all, we at the Oracle Center next Saturday, Wildin' Out. You're gonna see me, Conceited, Clips, Justina. You're gonna see all your favorite members, and make sure y'all get y'all tickets. Pull up, y'all. That's all I see. But let me book Hitman for a fucking battle and pay him what he makes from RBE, and that's all he does. I'll assume. Are you kidding me? Nah. Face off. Face off. I gotta fly you to Champion. This is a true story. I gotta fly you to Champion with Jay Black. I need you to show up. Oh, wait. Hold on. Let me go back. I need you to do it. Hold on. I need to fly you to Champion for Jay Black. Right? I need to fly you to PA. Then I need you to meet me at this warehouse that we rent in. We're gonna sit down and we're gonna do this Cassidy face off. This viral Cassidy face off, right? Then you know what I need you to do? The fact that you and Cassidy just got into it, I need y'all to put that aside and pull up to the press conference the day before and see each other as well, even though y'all hate each other. Cassidy was there, he was outside, you know what I'm saying? And but you saw Hitman sit down at the press conference though, but Cassidy was doing interviews outside. So they never got a chance to sit down in front of each other twice. But that's what I need you to do, Hitman. Oh, you know what? By the way, I need you on Twitter. Was Spaces really popping like that at this time? No, it wasn't. But if it was, yeah, Hitman, go ahead and go into Spaces every fucking day. As a league owner, use Spaces. The promotional element and giving our type of fan base, which is a great point that Hitman made, access to you via tools such as Twitter Spaces. We complain every day about promotion. I know I did. I watched the whole culture could do that, right? Spaces helps in that. Peep this. You realize that arguably the 3 people that had spaces or have spaces the most lit, all 3 of them can be argued on the Mount Rushmore. Want me to do it? Let's say the person that ever had spaces the most lit, ever. Sue Surf. Was it bad for Sue Surf? No. Sue Surf was able to damn near run Midnight Madness off of spaces, promote it off of spaces, keep himself hot between battles, reconstruct his image at times if he coming off of a couple losses, whatever, get in spaces and argue, engage with the battle rap community, engage with the bloggers, make himself accessible. Sue Surf goes away. Who picked up the torch? Averb, another Mount Rushmore candidate. How many of y'all click play on Averb spaces or join in on his spaces, whether he's talking about who won last night or some other shit, right? Promotes himself. At the end of the day, Averb is still one of the best promoters in battle rap ever. Ever. Hey, I can't contradict myself. Part of his, let me take one step back. Arguably, the biggest soul promotional effort ever from a battle rapper. I lived through it and I've seen it and I've been here the whole fucking time, going all the way back 15 years, people. The promotional campaign that Averb did, not daily, but multiple times per day, every day, from him signing the contract all the way up to him rapping versus A-Ward. I've never seen it before, and I don't know if I'll ever see it again. Somebody to apply themselves that much to a promotional effort. You want me to be a hypocrite and complain about that? No, we all made some good money off of that promotion. Okay? So Averb, say what you want about some of his spaces, but when it comes to this topic, the third person I'll use an example for is Hitman once again, right? Hitman's able to go in them spaces, address controversy. I don't know why he doesn't use his YouTube channel. I argue with him about that all the time. He don't listen to me, but that's what he likes to do. Like when he got to address something or he wants to promote something or he wants to be outside, or he wants to engage battle rap, which we need him to do. He's the biggest draw in battle rap. If the Hitmans, the Mooks, the Luxes, and the Twerk, all these people, Big K's, will these people leave, battle rap just dies more. You know what I'm saying? And Hitman continues to remind y'all, I don't need to do this, right? So when he does that, bloggers eat. They're able to take. I just told y'all that I didn't catch this space. Nobody got any screen recordings of Hitman talking about this topic in spaces, and you see either the RBE logo on Twitter or my default picture in Twitter. There's not one. It doesn't exist. Why? I didn't hear this in spaces. I heard it on Polo's channel. Polo just made some money with Hitman then. Bloggers get to eat. Fans get to catch up, replay if you miss it on Twitter. Create topics. Create energy. Create promotion. I do have a problem with people that are underqualified. DNA, you're right. But if you remove the promotional opportunities of spaces, especially in today's age where battle rap is in a decline in a lot of people's eyes or has declined, then promotional tools being removed will hurt us. All right. Now, both of those guys are right in that respect. Where does it hurt? What does it hurt? Not everybody is a Hitman Holla when it comes to how they use spaces or how they have engagement or how other bloggers and other people eat or how events get promoted. You know, not everybody is an Averb. How you could have arguably the biggest battle rap promotional soul effort run ever when he battled A-Ward. Not everybody is an Averb and can do what he did and can be entertaining and be a draw, and people actually want to sit there and listen to him go live at 8 a.m., 1 p.m., and 8 p.m. talking about A Ward, his mother, where he's from. Not everybody could do that. Not everybody can captivate people and has the charismatic levels of a Sue Surf to get into a space and convince you why his choke is justified. No, you're not Surf, battle rapper, whoever, mid-tier, up-and-comer, whoever. You're not Hitman. You're not Averb. So as much as it's valid and justified for people like that, it's unjustified for people that can't use it the right way, can't promote. And now we get into the devaluing aspect. Who's a blogger that has said this multiple times over the months and over the years? Chris Unbiased. I'll give him props for this. He said many times, one of the shitty things about spaces is it shows the battlers' lame's side. It shows people's lame side. Okay. When I saw Kanye West popping out with Amber Rose and they was walking around doing like hey, they match each other's fly and they modeling together and all that, I was like, yo, this girl is dope. The moment I heard her speak, I was like, oh no, I'm cool with her. The same thing would probably be the case for this Bianca chick. She might be some shallow, you know what I'm saying? She got no depth to her. Just keep promoting your titties and your ass and your small waistline and keep it there. Be his little trophy wife. The moment we hear her speak, she might not sound like shit. But all jokes aside, y'all, real talk. Some of these battlers that are consistently in spaces is like, that's what you think? That's how you move? That's where you stand? Damn, I was sold on just listening to you get up on stage and rap these gangster lyrics and entertain, fans on the type of content that we expect in rap battles. Now I heard you up there in spaces and you was talking about, your last relationship. And it's just like, what? Like, use a piece of, I mean, like, some of these people is corny as fuck. And the more you let somebody talk, the more they reveal who they truly are. And then you get to peer further into breaking that fourth wall. What's presented to you guys is packaged up by production and Ruin Your Day and the league and the rap battle. And you get this end piece of content that makes this battler look like this gangster, rich. He's the man. And this battler over here, she's on point. You see her with her hair done and nails done, all that. She's rapping this tough shit or whatever. But then we get in spaces and we hear, oh damn, you couldn't buy your fucking daughter diapers, or shit. You really your real job is damn. I was about to use an example that would have came off wrong. You're a cash register at the supermarket. You know what I'm saying? Like I heard you talk about that in spaces. Like what? Like that's the way spaces devalues people. You either show your lame side or people don't understand. Once again, let me go back to the second category of Surf, Hitman, and Verb. When they make themselves accessible, it's still promotion all the way up to the bloggers eating and making money with them. But some of these other battlers, they don't have that draw power. So for them, it devalues them because being overly accessible for them has an adverse effect. It's like, yo, I see you in spaces every day. You're not even popping like that in battle rap. You kind of are annoying me now. It's like a subconscious thing versus like a hitman. Somebody says something about him. Everybody's got their popcorn waiting for him to get in spaces and address it, even if he was just there yesterday. Talk about something else. So people don't think that just because you see somebody else being able to leverage it the right way, you're not them. You know what I'm saying? There's levels to this shit. There's different approaches. Some people get exposed for being lame and being cornballs. You make yourself too accessible, it could turn into promotion, like Averb. Other people, you make yourself too accessible, and it's just like, damn, that fourth wall is broken, and you're watered down, and I care less about you now. So it's a difference. It's who you are. I think it's really just those four things. It's the devaluing of the battler, certain battlers, based on them talking too much that shows the fans things that they're turned off by, right? And certain battlers' accessibility devalues them. Certain battlers. So you got that, the devaluing category. But you got the promotional side of things that is very helpful. You have you have what's the fourth? What's the third point? DNA's point. Who's qualified? Okay. You have that category in that discussion, which once again I think is very different. I mean, really, I could bulk all three categories, everything that we just said. And I feel like it's just different discussions that's happening. So is Spaces good for battle rap? In certain cases, yes. Is it bad for battle rap? In certain cases, yes. So if you wanted to make an overall decision and say, does it do more good than bad for battle rap? Or you thought I was going to give you the cliffhanger? I won't. I'll leave it there for now. All right. Y'all determine. Does it do more good than bad or more bad than good? Okay. But shout out to DNA. Shout out to Holla. Shout out to personalities that we've met through Spaces for the most part, like Boss. Shout out to people that know how to use it the right way. Shout out to people that use it and don't devalue themselves. Shout out to the people that are entertaining when they use it and charismatic and keep themselves hot and steer narratives and create leagues of like assert for whatever. Shout out to them. Right. But if there's one responsibility I'd like to see the battlers maintain, and this is to DNA's point, be a little bit more, give more scrutiny to who you allow to come up and speak in your spaces. I think that helps DNA's point. Don't just let everybody come up and give an answer or question you or challenge you. Yes, to Hitman's point, us being accessible to our fans is a requirement because we have a different type of demographic and fan base. That's true. But you still have to pick wisely. Okay. So you might have like you got the top bloggers that have been here, let's say for 10 years and whatnot, right? You got like a Piper Boy, a Vada Fly, a 3-letter man, an Angry Fan, a Jay Black, a Chris Unbiased. I feel like I'm leaving somebody out, and I hate when I try to do that because somebody gets mad and takes a certain way, and then starts tweeting like some personal childish shit. You know what I'm saying? That's a true story. But anyway, you got those guys like the GOATs, right? And then let's say an up-and-comer blogger like Battle Rap Facts, right? He's still growing his fan base. I think he's done enough and gained enough credibility where if I'm Hitman Holla in that space and he raises his hand or he wants to come up as a speaker, maybe I'd allow him because I've watched long enough. I've seen on the scenes. I maybe went onto his channel, saw what he was saying about me, seen what he was saying about the event, saw how he tried to promote other leagues, saw, how he carried himself. Maybe I met him in face to face and watched him pop out to an event. I've seen his channel moving for about a year. All right, he wants to come up as a speaker. All right, let me allow that person to come up. He's got some credentials that he's been building and that we can see, something tangible that he's added that we can see, right? These other just random people with no credentials, especially no credentials tied to somebody that or something that you could say you've been productive to a degree, you've added something to the fucking culture. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have any of that, don't bring these people up in your spaces, people. Let them find their own ways to be because your name, I'll leave it like this. You shouldn't be able to create a name simply by going into a space that has credible people in it or established people in it. You should have to establish your name initially through work or some form of adding. Okay? When you could do some form of adding, then people will recognize that, and then you will come into certain folds. Okay? You should be recognized for your work first. All right? Like me, when I was on the ground, all I was doing was before I became a blogger, I was just covering events on Twitter. I was the person that was in the building everywhere. I felt like it was me, Jazz, and maybe Nunu Nels. None of them went to more events than me, but I seen them at a lot of events. You know what I'm saying? They was on the ground everywhere. I ain't gonna lie. And I was just tweeting. And then people start to follow me because like, oh, some of these battles don't make it to YouTube for a long time. Some of them never get into YouTube. This person's also tweeting about things that aren't getting discussed. That was my initial following, just tweeting. I'm on the ground. I'm in the field. I'm giving y'all content. I'm giving y'all updates. Then I started blogging. It's like, all right, he was there. Let's see what happened at the Black Ice Cartel or Guerrilla Warfare co-event last night. ARP got a blog up about it, right? You're adding something. And then people you cross, and then they're like, I know you, I see you, I understand what you do. And even my stint with Battle Rap Media and Star, like, oh, you was behind that battle? Okay, I'm working. And then later on, when you become more and more familiar with me or you meet me, this guy has a background, right? You shouldn't be able to just go into a space and be brought up, 20 times by some blogger, somebody, and now you're looked at as somebody that has credentials. Because the fans sometimes won't even differentiate. All they're going to do is see the title that says Hitman Holla addresses DNA. They're going to click in. They're going to hear this other person, even though Hitman is the reason why they got there. They're going to hear this other person, and that person, whether they have any credentials, whether they're a hater, whether they're unqualified, whatever the case may be, never added anything to battle rap, they're given a voice. So that, I would say, battlers and people that start these spaces need to do a better job at. But both of those guys are right in their points. All right. Let me bring this up. I see Facts in the building. I was just talking about you, G. I don't know if you was in here already. Shout out to Facts in the building. Mish, quick intermission. Yes, happy Mother's Day to all the beautiful mothers in here, in the chat. Today is Mother's Day, man. We love y'all. We love y'all. We love y'all. We love y'all. We hope that you guys have a beautiful day. If it's not everything that you want it to be or need it to be, at least hopefully comfortable, maybe a chance to just relax, hang back or whatever. You got to understand, not everything is about, hey, it's the mother and the children. What if a mother's home right now on Mother's Day and her kids are away at college or something? You know what I'm saying? And so, I don't want to make it like, hey, be sad if you're not next to your child right now. Nah, if you brought a life into this world and then you've also did your job to try to raise that life, shout out to you. We love you. That's it. Regardless of what else is going on with your life today. Some people stuck at work. Let's keep it 1,000. Some people like, yeah, I got my family at home or whatever, but I got to go to work. You know what I'm saying? Nah, this is for y'all. It's for everybody. If you brought a life, if you carried a baby for 9 months and then you mothered that child, Brent. We ain't shouting out the Brendas of the world. Stay with me. That's Tupac. Brenda's got a baby, people. We're not shouting out the Brendas of the world, man. But if you were there, you brought that life in, and then you supported that child, we love you. Shit, how you think we're all here? How you think I'm here talking right now? Yes. Shout out to the members now, giving their happy Mother's Day. Yeah, shout out to the members giving everybody their well-deserved Mother's Days. Yes. Oh, she said, Mish, I didn't know you was a mother. Shout out to you. Happy Mother's Day, Mish. Happy Mother's Day. You was the first comment that I noticed about the Mother's Day shout outs. Yes, Bearded Brick. See, it's the type of stuff that won't be accessible unless you're a member Monday through Friday. You see, so when people ask me like, damn, so now I miss, like, I think people won't slit their wrist if they don't get the Mother's Day piece on the channel, unless they're a member. But they still get the topic of saying, all right, what's the Lil Durk update? Yeah, you get that. You don't got to be a member for that, all right? So don't kill me, people. Just let's get used to how this podcast is growing and changing. So when I say transition, this is the type of stuff I mean. The stuff in between the topics, all right? What's everybody in the chat now telling us whether they're mothers or not? Is that it? Okay, I remember Tiff is, because she says thank you. Yes, thank you to you as well. Shout out to the mothers. Okay, it says I'm shouting out Brenda also. Girl can barely spell her name. All right, man. I don't want to get into a Brenda's got a baby debate. Shout out to you, KX. All right. Now's not the day to get into a Brenda's got a baby debate. I'm gonna leave that alone. Oh man. You know what I watched last night? Speaking of the ladies, on everything, I watched Set It Off. It's probably the first time I watched Set It Off in at least 6, 7 years, maybe. It is true. When you watch a movie as you mature, when you get older, there's different things that you feel different about, right? It is. I'm watching it last night. Totally off topic, y'all. Once again, this is members only type of stuff Monday through Friday. You could only get this type of stuff from Spotify, or if you're a member Monday through Friday, or if you're on the stream Saturdays and Sundays. This type of shit right here. I watched it Set It Off last night, and I'm like, yo, could Stoney have caught charges for what she did? Dude as well. You know, I mean, morally, people are backing of what happened. They're just like, hold on, see, y'all take me off topic. The Bone Thugs track is on there. Come into my world and you can see that we are more than thugs, more than thugs, more than thugs, we more than thugs. With just a little sipper and make me smoke and lead the warriors, 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 we warriors. This is why y'all know this nigga got too much credentials. Too much. He could talk about hip hop whenever he wants. He really sandboxed that shit. He is. And this is why I be cursing 3-letter man out. Like, what? How dare you step foot in my fucking throne? You don't know more fucking hip hop, or none of these niggas could come on this fucking channel with me. And nobody. I feel comfortable and confident about that. I'm an 80s baby, so I'm there from the inception all the way to today. Nah, son, I'm not. Get out my fucking throne, 3. I do this live just from facts put in a comment like this, man. Stop playing with me. But let me get back to my point. A versus, if I said, if YouTube would allow us to play music, I'll fuck somebody over in verses. I'd be like a DJ, like how RZA and DJ Premier did it. I would do that with somebody, but you just can't play music. All right. Yeah, what I was saying about that is we know that she was trying to get her brother into college. You know, both of their parents had died, so now she's playing big sister. And morally, there's understanding there. Like, all right, you let this old guy take you down that was on your heels because you wanted a check. But the today me was just watching that last night. I was just like, by any means necessary, huh? Like, so if I ask the chat that right now, yeah, let's do it. The stream shit. This ain't the topic that's gonna get clipped. A women in the chat on Mother's Day. Some of y'all gonna lie because it's Mother's Day. Ladies in the chat, and Set It Off. If that's your brother, both your parents is passed, and you trying to get your little brother into college, y'all making y'all way out the hood. Let me paint the picture. Y'all making y'all way out the hood. You see what's happening in the hood. Shit, the hood killed him. We know it's the AP haircut that he had in the back of his head, but this might be make or break for your brother's survival, getting him into college. It means the world to you. And here comes this sugar daddy. It's been on your heels forever. And you just find out now your brother didn't get a scholarship. And the only way now, it's that critical moment too. It's like, it's summertime. You just graduated high school. It's time. You better apply, get accepted, and we can start. It's got a time window here. It's time sensitive. Okay? This guy could give you a check, but he's telling you flat out, you gotta let me take it down. And then I'll give you what you asked for. Maybe it's 5,000, whatever. And you want to take that for your brother? Go ahead. Nobody, I feel like y'all ain't gonna answer. Y'all ain't gonna keep it 1,000. Ladies in the chat, 1 if you would do what Stoney did, or 2 in the chat if you like, nah, I gotta find another way. I gotta find another way to get the bag. Jay said never. Me says it ain't tricking if you got it. Oh, that's the answer for dude. I want to know what the women, I wonder what the ladies in the chat would do. Ain't no GoFundMe back then. All right. DMV Doll says nope. Me says that is another way. All right. He had the acorn in the back of his head. Yeah, we took it, Set It Off. Sincerely says nah. Misha's playing now. She says she buzzing it open. Somebody said fish fry. Yo, y'all are fun. Oh, somebody said do a fish fry to get the money. Oh, Fact said that shit. He said they could have done a fundraiser or something, a car wash, fish fry, something. It's that easy, huh? If it was that easy to get up $5,000-$6,000 just like this, do a fish. It even costs money to set up the fish fry, nigga. They was in the projects. You want to know how broke I realized last night watching Set It Off, and maybe the first time in like 10, 15 years. Want to know how I realized how broke they really was? The first bank robbery that they did, they got away with $3,000, and they thought they was out of here. Now the times is different. Economy, your dollar went further back then. You know what I'm saying? A piece of bubble gum was still 5 cents. I'm showing y'all my age right now. But think about it. $3,000 still back then is $3,000 fucking dollars, and they risked their freedom and their lives robbing a bank, and they was thrown for that 3. They was gone. They was out of here for that 3. At the end, or the biggest take that they got away with when Cleo drove the truck into the shit, they got 75 each. And the fuck you doing with 75? you gonna leave? You gonna start a whole new life with 75? Yo, yeah, my references is crazy, man. My references, Bazooka Joe. Yeah, my references is crazy. I am the reference king too. I've always claimed the hip hop throne from a podcasting standpoint out of the battle rap space from 3 Letter. Now there are hip hop historians that kill me. I'm talking about from battle rap when I say this, people. I got the throne in battle rap. I claim that. And I'm also now from battle rap. I'm claiming reference king amongst a whole bunch of battlers who got a problem. I know Suge references a lot of movies and a lot of his old rounds and shit. He can't see me in references. None of these niggas can. I don't have to sit down and think and write it. I do it in flight with y'all live. Okay? Stop it. But we hanging out on a Sunday for Mother's Day. Let's go to the next topic. Y'all ready? Let's go to the next topic. Oh, wow. I got this lined up next. Shit, from all this joking and playing to getting real serious real quick. Okay. So yeah, we have an update in Rodney Hinton Jr.'s situation. We've been covering it. This is the 3rd video now where we're covering this topic. It's going to be very edgy. It's going to be a cultural divide. It already is. It's going to be uncomfortable at times for parents, for mothers, for fathers, for people that have an issue with what he did. You got to go to my first video from last week talking about where I stand morally, his rights and his wrongs as far as his actions, right? Yesterday, we broke down more reaction to the new footage of him. I think that was we had fun with that topic. When I say fun, I mean that we kept it interesting. And now today, death penalty on the table? Wow.
The man accused of killing Deputy Henderson now faces the death penalty after a new indictment by a Hamilton County grand jury. WCPO 9 News reporter Sean Delancey has followed this case every step of the way and spoke to the prosecutor about the capital case she now leads.
Yeah, correct. These are the charges that a grand jury brought down against Rodney Hinton Jr. Aggravated murder carries the death penalty, and prosecutor Connie Pillich says her office will pursue it.
It was the defendant's specific purpose to kill a law enforcement officer.
Prosecutor Pillich says Hinton intentionally hit and killed Deputy Larry Henderson after he watched video of a Cincinnati police officer shooting and killing his son, Ryan Hinton, a day before. CPD says Ryan ran from a stolen car armed with a firearm. A police shooting leading to what appears to be an act of retribution. Do you see it that way? And can you comment on the unprecedented nature of this case?
I can only tell you that I've never seen someone hunted down and killed like this.
Previous prosecutor.
Did you see that answer that she gave, y'all? She did not answer the question. Slow it down. He asked her, do you see this as an act of retribution? She said, I've never seen an officer hunted down like that. The retribution had nothing to do with the officer answer. He's asking you about Rodney. I mean, for what she's up there representing on the podium and who she is, it's a perfect answer. But that didn't go over our heads.
Prosecutors have taken these cases up themselves and prosecuted them personally. Is that something you plan to do?
Real quick, too, the reason why I think for where she stands in all of this, why she gave a perfect answer, because a question about retribution from anybody on the law side, on the court side, even when the case goes to trial, if you allow the retribution to come in aspect, it will create leniency in certain people's eyes. And people in her position don't want that, right? Classic example. We've actually referenced this one recently, A Time to Kill. Okay. His lawyer painted that traumatic scene in our minds, said, close your eyes. This is what happened as she was walking down the road. They beat her, they awed her, they did this, they did that. They threw over the rocks, they left her to dead. And now open your eyes. Opens your eyes. Now imagine that girl was white. And everybody says, oh, I did even in the fucking movie. Made my skin crawl a little bit just now doing it. I was seeing the movie a little bit while my eyes was closed. You paint a picture of retribution. You paint a picture of what would you do if you was the father? What would you do? How would you feel if it was you? And she ducked that shit. She said, oh, no. I cannot get into anything related to this man and how the general father would feel. I just want to talk about a cop being hunted down and ran over. I'm telling you, man, we're gonna keep covering this. This is gonna stay very edgy.
And if not, who will be prosecuting it?
I have my top two criminal lawyers on this, Kate Burrows and Kip Guinan.
Have they pursued capital murder cases in the past?
Yes.
As for Sheriff Charmaine McGuffey, what are your thoughts on the death penalty being applied here?
I stand with the prosecutor. I am the sheriff of Hamilton County. I have sworn to uphold the law, and the prosecutor is following the grand jury.
That said, McGuffey called for a cooling of temperatures for everyone as investigations continue.
But I'm asking you to please let justice play out in all cases.
Pillage refused to talk about the police.
So it came out of the grand jury justifications to seek death penalty for this. It's not solidified, right? Of Trump going for death penalty for anybody that would kill an officer. Is he going for that across all states? Drop a comment below. Y'all hit me. I don't follow politics too much. Big updates and stuff like that comes across my table, of course, but drop a comment for me. Let me know where things are with that, what Trump is pushing for. But okay, if that came out of the grand jury, that shouldn't shock us. A police officer losing their life and then the death penalty being on the tip. Now, whether that holds all the way through or not, the death penalty could somewhere along the lines be taken off the table. Also, sometimes death penalties are taken off the table in the form of plea deals, plea agreements, right? You take this life sentence without the opportunity for parole, we'll remove death penalty. You could just spend the rest of your life in jail. I mean, what do you think you're going to be facing no matter what? You're either going to be facing the loss of your life in jail or the loss of your life on, after you make it down death row, and then whatever that particular state would do, like let's say a lethal injection or whatever. Or anyway, yeah, I'll leave that there. But for killing a police officer, if convicted, there is no 15 or 20. There is no 20 to 25. Like there is no well, I don't know. If I go Google it, has anybody made parole after killing a police officer? And it's going to change state by state too, right? Things are going to be different depending on where certain things happen. But killing a cop, period. We'll see what happens as far as him fighting or possibly having the death penalty on the table. You saw the chief there. She said, "Yeah, we back it." What came out of the grand jury. But then what did she do after that? She says, "I want everybody to please allow this to play out." You know what that is? That's just trying to keep tensions calm. Like in Ohio right now, or any of the accompanying areas of where this took place, the shooting of the child, as well as the police officer that was ran over, anywhere in a neighboring area or zip codes, it could be hot right now. You could have black and white people standing on the line at the supermarket right now, snickering at it. Want another reference? I'm telling you, I'm the reference king. Martin, Remember the reference that Martin said after the Rodney King verdict? He said, you can get over in traffic that day, right? He could wave to a white guy in the car and be like, can I get over? You know what I'm saying? Oh, come on, get in. Like, because it's like, damn, like the Rodney King shit is crazy. And the cop got off, so white people, they fall back a little. That's how society is, right? Things will get culturally tense real fast. That's what I don't like about what Kanye does. That's what I don't like about some of our presidents, what they do, because it's not necessarily at times a direct effect to me, right? Something changes with tax, or something changes with this. But if you come out and you say I'm building a wall, and then if y'all have sons or daughters that go to school and they're Mexican or of Mexican or Spanish descent, and some other kid just listening to Trump interprets that a way to treat that little child a certain way. That's what I mean about the influence. That's one of my biggest, if not the biggest things that I have with Kanye. If y'all haven't picked up on that in some of my constantly covering his fuck shit, right? Yeah, it's news. Yeah, it's entertaining. But that's one of my most consistent things about Kanye. He's such a big entity and such a big voice. But anyway, back to this. She had to calm that. They have to continue to try to calm that. It's going to be so racially tense, you know, all the way through his trial. Please, y'all, don't try to take things. That's the type of situation that when the verdict comes down from his trial, regardless of what side of the gate you stand on, it's a good day to stay home. It's a good day to stay in the house. Right? OJ beats his case. It just feels like a good day to stay home for me. A lot of people during Donald Trump's first presidential run, a lot of colored people are adverse from him. Or you see a bunch of racist KKK and bigots and skinheads and Aryans outside waiting for, you know, the presidential run to come to a conclusion and see if he won or not. For me, good day to stay inside. That happens. This is the world that we live in, people. It's the world that we live in. I could look up at the news, see some shit and be like, yeah, I'm gonna hang out this weekend. Real shit. For real. Pay attention, man. And this is one of them situations that's gonna do that. But yeah, they got him facing the death penalty. Drop a comment below if you feel like he should be or he shouldn't be. Even answering those questions right now, I feel like it's tense for people. But all right. Let's leave that one there for now. I want to go. Let me check out the chat real quick for a second. Even this, I feel like it's transition. Like if I come to the chat, be a little bit more interactive. That's the type of stuff that will not be in the clips. You got to be either a member Monday through Friday, catch it on Spotify Monday through Friday, or see it on Saturday and Sunday when it's available to when we stream public. I just want to keep drumming home. I don't want anybody to feel like they can't catch everything in one form or another. I want all the content from our stream, all the important content from our streams to be available to everybody in one form or another. Okay. I never want to be the person that comes off like, oh, he's just making us be members. Fuck no, I ain't. I barely even say it. My moderators remind me all the time, or remind the chat about memberships and whatnot. I damn near forget to. I don't really promote it. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it through the roof, but I don't really promote it enough, to be honest. That boy Jizzle, appreciate the super, says, and this happens to be a father holding his beautiful child here. Look at this. But ARP, as a father of two boys over mines, walking down or running down 12 anyway. Oh, 12 years? Wait, hold on. I'm trying to make sure I interpret that emoji correctly. Down 12, and I'm walking down 12. I'm walking down 12. 12 as in cops. Okay. I'm walking down 12. Anyone that has something to do with it, and I'll lay my life down for it. Don't plan on living. Yeah. So I understand it. And that's some of what we discussed yesterday on the stream. The red tunnel. I'm going to continue to say that because that's my personalized terminology for somebody that's blacking out, somebody that doesn't care, somebody that they can't hear anything. They could only see one thing. They're in a tunnel. Those are the mothers that can lift up cars because their baby is caught underneath. You know what I mean? You're just gone. You could pummel somebody to death, and then when you finally get pulled off, you look down, you realize like, oh shit, what did I just? It's like temporary insanity. The red tunnel, eyes full of blood, metaphorically speaking. You take the life of somebody's child. They're probably going to end up in that red tunnel, especially under these type of circumstances. Okay, John Gotti, one of the biggest gangsters in gangster history. His child was lost. His neighbor accidentally killed his son. Accidentally he hit him with a car at like an intersection. Kid was riding on his bike. John Gotti's kid died behind. It was an accident. Once again, one of the biggest gangsters in gangster history did not want retribution for his son losing his life because of how it happened, the circumstances. Sammy the Bull went and did it anyway. At least that's the story that we have been given to the public. That Sammy the Bull was like, fuck that. I don't care if John is green lighting this or not. I'm doing it. Nah, you can't be behind, accident or not, one of our kids being lost. So even Sammy had that much of an emotional moment. Like, this is my man, this is my brother, this is my boss, and you killed his son. I don't care how it happened. You're out of here. You know what I'm saying? He felt emotional for John. You know? So that's the red tunnel, man. Like, this guy, go watch yesterday's stream, the footage. Or actually, I got the clip up as well from yesterday. That footage, man, he's not talking. His energy, his vibe is don't come back from the place that he's in, especially that he's in custody and he probably won't have the fulfillment that he got the person that he thinks is responsible. And that topic is in the first video where we cover this. It's deep, man. I'm serious about this topic. It's deep, man. But I understand what you're saying, Jizzle. I don't want to be in any situations that put me in a red tunnel. You know, it's an ugly place to be. So much respect, Jizzle. Much respect. Shout out to Ethan. Cops been bad. This isn't new behavior. There's always bad apples amongst any bunch. I'm so experienced. When I was growing up, it was fuck the police. I called them pigs. I hated them. I didn't give two fucks about them. By the time I got into my teens, one of my closest friends, his father was a detective, right? He was like a second father to me. Like my father wasn't around, but the way that man treated us as a friend group and treated me, and the amount of respect I had for him as a man, like he's one of the men I was able to watch and see. That's how an alpha is supposed to move. That's how a man's man is supposed to be. Just happened to be a detective though, you know. And then I have other experiences where, you know, I'm driving through states, you know, doing 120, my younger years, man. I don't drive like that no more. You can't catch me going over 80 these days, but my younger years doing $120 on a highway. I had a cop one time that pulled me over and said, hey man, you know why I pulled you over? And I was honest. I said, yeah, man, I was speeding. It's all right. Stay right there for me. Comes back, he gives me a ticket for changing lanes without signaling. Doesn't give me the speeding ticket. One of the reasons why he didn't give me a speeding ticket is because this was between me driving between New York and Atlanta. And whatever state in between I got pulled over, I believe if I wanted to contest it, or I would have to appear in court for it, right? And he sees I'm a young kid, took my license, see my age and everything, live in New York. And he's just like, I don't want you to have to come back here for this. And the last words that he kind of left me with was like, don't kill yourself out here. It's not worth it. Just slow down, man. Take it easy. I love that cop. I had another cop. I was walking to a club. I'll tell you, there's another true story in Manhattan. Well, my man AB, right? He could attest to this story. I had a little Smirnoff wine cooler, right? The little the whatever ice joints, that's like the white drink, whatever. Don't ask me why I was drinking that bullshit, little wine coolers. All right, wine coolers was okay back then, okay? But we parked up, and now we was walking to the club. I had an open bottle in my hand, you know, my little pregame as we walk into the club. And as we turn the corner, there was two cops, two fully dressed, badged up cops just doing nightly walking beat just because the club is there. And as soon as I turned the corner, I seen them and they seen me, and it was like an instinct. Like in the same motion where I seen them, there was a garbage pan on the corner, and I said, boop. Cops walked up on us and said, hold, stop. What'd you just throw away? And I treated dude like an idiot. I was just like, I ain't throw nothing in there. He's like, you just threw a bottle in there. Well, grab it. He didn't want to grab it. He was like, grab it. And I was just like, nah, I ain't grabbing it. I ain't do nothing. He was like, you're gonna look me in my face and talk to me like we didn't just see each other and you didn't just throw a bottle of liquor into the garbage right in front of me. And I was like, I didn't throw nothing out, man. I ain't throw nothing out, officer. I don't know what you're talking about. So I was getting under their skin a little bit from that. So then one of them starts to write me a desk appearance ticket. Don't get arrested on the spot for nothing like that. They give you a ticket on the spot that you have to go to court and appear for, right? It's two cops. The older one's writing this ticket. The younger one that I was talking to and answering like he was an idiot, somehow we ended up in an eye-to-eye face-off. I'm talking about like this, right? Because we're being detained. We're not in handcuffs. We're not under arrest. We're just being detained. So we're like this. It's cold. It's winter. My man AB, I know you know this whole story. Like, oh, I know he's I got my hands in my pocket. And the young one's he's just mad at me. He's just like, take your hands out of your pocket. And I was just like, why? He was like, because I told you, take your hands out of your pocket. Now, his justification as a cop is going to be for my safety. I want to see that you're not holding any weapons in your pockets or whatever, right? And I was being a dick. I was young, and I was very, very standoffish to police when I was young. I was just like, no, my hands are cold. That's the way I was raised, right? It's like, no, my hands are cold. He grabs both my shoulders, my jacket, I had a leather jacket on, yanks it up so that my hands come out the pocket, and then yanks down so that my hands are on the side of my body. When he did the yank down, I felt a tear on the inside of my jacket. And I was in my mind, I was like, this nigga just ripped my fucking jacket on the inside of my shit. And the way I looked at him, because I was pissed that number one, he put his fucking hands on me. And number two, my jacket got ripped on the inside. I could feel it. I could hear it and feel it. I'm looking at him. He could see in my eyes, I want to do something to you. So I'm like, and he's looking back in my eyes, and his whole face reads, please, I am begging you. Give me a fucking reason, please. And we just stayed locked eyes for like 10, 15 seconds. 10, 15 seconds. If you sit there and you count it, it's an eternity. Or just. Right? Cop comes, gives me the citation. Walk off. Ruined the first half of my party. I was steaming. Of my night. I couldn't get it out of my mind for like the first half of the party. Ruined me, man. I had to get in there and start drinking, get drunk or something, maybe. But the guy that pulled me over, the detective that is one of my was one of my closest friends' father. I have 20 of these I could tell y'all about good cops and bad cops that I've crossed paths with. I have 20 of these stories. I'll save them for different streams. It experienced me to a point where I could say my young years of fuck all these police, fuck all y'all. That was ignorant. And that's what I mean when I say there's just apples that spoil the bunch. You experience that. You get a little older. You realize, like, I'm not supposed to hate all black people. I'm not supposed to hate all white people. I'm not supposed to hate all Asian people, all Hispanic people, all police officers. I'm not supposed to. Do I have an issue with the people that don't do the job the right way or take advantage of us or treat us like shit? Absolutely. Is it a stereotype that these police have deserved and earned themselves? Absolutely. But I can't treat every cop like they are like that. I just can't. It's no longer in me to do that anymore because I'm experienced to realize, like, some of y'all would save my life. What movie was that? Crash. Y'all can't fuck with me with references. You can't. You can't, son. Crash. I think the image of that cop was like he was a racist, right? But fast forward later on, he was the same cop that saved the black one. Doesn't Lil Wayne have one of those stories too? Wasn't it a cop that saved his life, Lil Wayne, when he shot himself? Right? Chat, am I on point this morning or not? Huh? Kelson says Crash is a solid movie. Me says 3 out of 4 cops that's helped me were YT. Black cops be the ones crashing out. You mean like Boys in? I referenced like 5. I referenced too easily. My bad. You mean like the Boys in the Hood scene? We went Crash, Lil Wayne, and Boys in the Hood in the span of 30 seconds. I'm telling y'all, I'm the reference king. I don't want anybody to ever contest that title from Battle Rap on me. I'm telling y'all. Oh, it was in the chest when Lil Wayne shot himself. Yeah, and it was a cop that saved him, right? Should I upload this piece as a clip? This was a nice build right here. Should I upload this? Thank you, Jay. Appreciate you. Thank you, Homebody. Appreciate you. I used to do that in my edited blogs. It was my way of driving the points home, because you reference something that somebody could visualize and it's like, oh yeah, I totally understand what he just said, in case I spoke in a way that didn't connect. Thank you, Jizzle. Thank you, Jizzle. Yeah, I don't move this slow on weekdays, Monday through Friday. I got shit to do. I got a lot to do today as well, but it's still early, so I'm cool. All right, let's get back to work. This might be the type of stuff that you miss Monday through Friday, unless you're a member or unless you listen on Spotify, or unless I decide to clip it. What we just broke down and talked about, I might clip that and make it and put it for everybody. I might clip it. I don't know. All right, Jason Taylor. Why did I say his government instead of the game? So when the news broke of the default judgment, well, not the default judgment, but the judge order that he may have to sell his home, his mansion, to satisfy a prior lawsuit that he lost due to a default judgment from the girl that was on his prior game show, the girl Priscilla Rainey. Right, that went around the internet. We covered it as well. But why not just look at the actual paperwork, right? Now, I want more context, or I wanted more context because I wanted to see or get more of a vibe. Is this a money grab? Is this some girl that was kicked off the show and maybe she wanted to be with Game, or he chose somebody else, or she thought she was going to be a star and he stopped that situation for her directly or indirectly? Were they in a past relationship? Is she like, we hear these stories all the time. So I wanted to see the paperwork, but peep this. This one right here is up on Justia Law. Even though this looks like an appeal paperwork, United States Court of Appeals from the 7th Circuit, Priscilla Rainey versus Jason Taylor. Okay. The argument. So when you see appeal, what happens? How do you get an appeal? That's after a decision was already made, right? So argued March 25th and decided October 17th, both 2019. So this appears that they went to court for this in 2019, lasted about, 5-6 months. And then the decision came to, and it's like, all right, game, got to pay up. But let's see how we got here. The background. Jason Taylor, aka The Game, is an internationally known Grammy-nominated rap artist. We know all of that. VH1, he got into the reality show She Got Game. We know that that's where they met and they was next to each other, okay? Priscilla Rainey, a realtor and entrepreneur from Florida, was a contestant on She Got Game in May 2015. Oh, so if the situation is happening in 2015, she didn't bring the case until 2019? Possible a 4-year gap before the case was brought. All right. I like to pay attention to some of those type of details. All right. In May 2015, while the show was filming in Chicago, Rainey and Taylor went on an off-camera date in apparent violation of the competition rules. So if you were on the show, with Game. You wasn't supposed to be hanging out with him outside the show or going out with him and dating or fucking or whatever. Okay. Taylor took Rainey to a suburban sports bar, and at one point during the evening, they were on an elevated stage in full view of club patrons. Okay. With the stage light shining on them, Taylor lifted Rainey's skirt and grabbed her bare buttocks and vag. Now, mind you, people, this show is happening at a time when the Game is a star. That's how he got a reality show at this point, right? So you got his platinum selling albums that have happened already, like the documentary. He's already gone through his run with G Unit, right? Yeah. So he's already a hip hop star at this time. So him being up on stage at a club full of patrons and club goers, I could see all eyes on him, whether he got paid to be there for a walkthrough or not. But Game at this point in his career, he walked up to the spot and it's all eyes on him. Okay. She tried to break away, but he did it again, this time lifting her rear end up and exposing her intimate parts to the gawking crowd. Now, I'm not saying, I don't know if they're trying to say she had underwear on here or not. I'm not saying that she had to. Okay. That's her business. As Rainey struggled to push him away and lower her skirt, he grabbed her bare buttocks and vag a third time. He also grabbed and juggled her breasts for the entertainment of the onlookers. Does this sound like something Game would do? I'll just throw that out there. 3 days later, Rainey confronted Taylor about the assault. The two were on the show's tour bus with other cast members, and film crew caught the entire exchange on camera. So the argument is there's evidence of it, and there's other people that heard this argument too. The video begins with another contestant announcing that Rainey had a secret date with Taylor that's cheating, and as we said, and returned to the hotel visibly upset. Rainey responded that she told the crew about it, but no one else. Taylor then reminded her that he had instructed her not to mention it to anybody, and don't mention it means don't mention it. A heated argument ensued. Rainey tried to tell him that she had a problem with what had happened, and was bothered by it. Taylor angrily commanded her to keep quiet. What you can do is be a woman and shut up. Like you can shut up right now. She did not shut up. Instead, she described the assault in graphic detail. All of this is on camera? Allegedly? After an expletive-laden exchange, Taylor ordered her to get off the bus before you get your ass strangled and threatened to choke her ass up. So once again, there's possible allegedly witnesses that's on the tour bus hearing this, seeing this, and also possible footage capturing this, allegedly. In August 2015, just before the show's debut, Rainey sued Taylor. So why was that 2019? Oh, maybe I don't know. Maybe the appeal is between those months above 2019. All right. But yeah, and sued Taylor for sexual battery in a federal court in Chicago. Taylor repeatedly evaded service and otherwise tried to obstruct and delay the litigation. 5 process servers across 3 states made multiple attempts to serve him with a complaint and summons. See, right there, got to pay attention to that, because what Game talks about on Vlad, I saw that. What Wack 100 just talked about with academics, I saw that, is the dentist appointment that he had, and they gave him something that put, I don't know, gas or whatever, some type of medication, whatever that was in the system, where they said you're not supposed to fly, right? So let's say that's true. Even if it is true, what's here in the paperwork is that there was more attempts than just that. Of course, I would expect Game and Wack 100 to only mention the dentist situation, allegedly. But here in the paperwork, 5 process servers across 3 states made multiple attempts to serve him with the complaint and summons. 1 process server alone made 41 unsuccessful attempts to serve Taylor at his California home. The district judge authorized alternative service. In meantime, the suit was widely reported in the press and generated lots of chatter on social media. So I will say this, to be fair. Can you miss a summons or a subpoena? Let's talk about the different forms of it. some of y'all that may have seen, I had a blog addressing Serious Jones. Shout out to Serious Jones. When we got into it over the disagreements of him battling on RBE for Max Out 1. If y'all remember that blog, right? And once again, shout out to Serious. Me and him is cool now. I gave a story in that blog talking about Heavy Half, the battle rapper from Chicago. He had a situation that he got into in New York when he came to the venue. I mean, when he came to the card after our event in another establishment, like at a club or something like that. There was an incident that took place. He got charged and he had to go back and forth from Chicago to New York and fight his case, right? The detectives in that case, in Heavy Half's case, called the Source magazine because there was a editor at the Source magazine that was at our event covering the event. So when the Source publicized the RBE event and they saw the name of the person from the Source that wrote the article, the authorities got in touch with her. They called the Source looking for her because all they wanted to do was try to question her about the event and question her about possibly Heavy Half. She got on the phone. And because she got on the phone, she ended up getting subpoenaed and she had to go to court. Now, what I said in the Serious Jones blog, I said, I don't know if somebody ever reached out to me, right? I have no clue. I would assume if you wanted to reach out to the editor, you might reach out to the person that booked Heavy Half to come into New York for the performance. Maybe they did try. I don't answer phone calls from numbers that I don't have saved in my phone. So if you called me and I don't got your number saved, I'm only picking up if you got your name listed as a call ID and I recognize your name. That's what happened when I said Clone called me last week or 2 weeks ago. I recognized his name on a call ID. I don't pick up, got scam artists and trolls or whoever. I just don't. That's just me. I'm not breaking any laws by not answering phone calls that are numbers that's not saved in my phone. I'm not breaking any laws from that. But let's say that could be maybe they wanted to subpoena me, but I didn't break any laws and I didn't get subpoenaed, right? So it could happen like that. You got cases or situations where you subpoena or you send the subpoena to an address that the person doesn't frequent. Maybe they have multiple houses. Maybe it's not their main property. Maybe it's a property that they used to live at. Maybe they weren't home the times that you came. They said 42 times at the California residence. That's a lot. But that's another thing I do. I don't answer doors for people that I don't know. You don't even see me if you drop off my Grubhub or DoorDash or nothing. Nah, I'm one of the motherfuckers. I'm looking through the window, DoorDash nigga pulled off. All right, let me grab my food. You know what I'm saying? Somebody ring my bell and I don't know who it is. I mean, it doesn't happen frequently, but somebody ring my bell and I don't know who it is. Nah, I gotta look out that window and see that you got the UPS vest on, you got a package, and even that could be a lineup, right? No, I'm expecting a package. All right, let me open the door and sign for this shit. Think about it. There's a lot of ways you could miss a subpoena without purposefully ducking. That's the whole point that I'm making there. But this doesn't read good. 42 and different. It doesn't read good, man. I'm just trying to build with y'all just to try to be fair. Taylor did not answer or otherwise plead. So on February 1st, 2016, the judge entered a default under Rule 55A of Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. 10 days later, Florida attorney Andrew Williams appeared for Taylor and moved to quash service and set aside the default. The judge denied the motion to quash, but set aside the default and scheduled trial for November 14th, 2016. People, are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? I didn't read this before. I just pulled it up, made sure it's the accurate thing, and then I said, all right, we'll break it down on the stream. Did I just read that? He had a default judgment that was decided by the judge. All right, you owe this girl because you missed all these attempts. Your lawyer shows up and gets you another opportunity. Says, all right, you was in default. You had a judgment against you already. This girl already won. But here goes your lawyer. You want to know what? Cool. I'm going to give you another chance. So they removed the default and gave him another chance. Now, even if I am ducking this case, even if I am, if I see that it went into default judgment, it's like, yo, you just lost $5 million or $2 million because you wasn't showing up. If I didn't think it was serious then, I got to think that it's serious now. And then I send my lawyer and I get another opportunity. The judge says, all right, let me take it out of default. Let's try this again. And I still don't show up. Oh, hell no. Allegedly. The judge denied the motion to quash, but set aside the default judgment and scheduled trial for November 14th, 2016, months later. A magistrate judge set a settlement conference for June 16th and ordered Rainey and Taylor to appear in person. On June 2nd, Taylor moved to reschedule the settlement conference, feigning, whatever that is, a concern for his safety based on Chicago's gun violence problem. You see, this is what I mean when I say Wack and Game ain't going to say this stuff. So when you guys had the settlement conference set up in June, why didn't you show up to that? You knew about that one now because you sent your judge and they got the default second chance. And now you're saying, oh, no, because of the gun violence in Chicago, I ain't trying to show up. Yeah, they ain't going to say this publicly, huh? And allegedly, I still say, even though we're reading this shit on Just Deal Law, and shout out to the Game. I fuck with Game. But the black and white is the black and white. Say this on Vlad. To be real, Chicago's gun violence problem. This past Memorial Day weekend, sadly, almost 70 people were shot in the city of Chicago due to a high volume of violence and likelihood of the reprisals due to such violence. The defendant has grave concerns for his safety and for those who assist him during his travels due to his celebrity status. Now, to be fair, as I try to do so often, maybe this wasn't Game's position. Maybe this was his lawyer trying to run a play for him. Is this his lawyer trying to get a different date? Is this Game trying to avoid it? Is this his lawyer trying to get him more time to figure it? Like, all right, but in the paperwork, you guys used the Chicago stats that particular date. Okay. The magistrate judge canceled the settlement conference for other reasons. It was never rescheduled. Taylor's, what is that? Dilatory, whatever, conduct didn't stop there. In July, he moved to transfer the case to either the Central District of California or the Southern District of Florida. The judge denied the motion. I never heard of that before. Like, I have a case in New York. Let me try to ask the judge to move it to where I live in Cali. That's some arrogant shit. All right. The judge denied the motion as well. In October, he again moved for continuance, with the judge likewise denied. Meanwhile, Taylor railed against a lawsuit on social media, insulting Rainey in exceedingly vulgar terms. We did pull that up the other day. We pulled up one of his posts. Allegedly, it said Los Angeles Confidential. That's his Instagram name, right? But I'll still say allegedly. And he put up mug shots of her and calling her mudslide face and all this type of stuff, you know, dissing her and whatnot. So during this time, you was being what a lot of people interpret as the Game, because we see Game's personality at times. I mean, shout out to him, but jury selection commenced as scheduled on Monday, November 14th. Taylor didn't show up to that either. Williams, his attorney, assured the court that his client would be present the next day. Okay, now we'll be there tomorrow. When trial resumed on Tuesday, Taylor was again absent, it says. What the fuck is going on? This is crazy at this point. Williams asked for a continuance, saying that he had learned on Monday night that Taylor had an emergency dental procedure that day. So we did Chicago, we did dental, we did dentist, we did 42 times at your crib, we did across states, 4 different service, all it is. We got a lot going on. The judge made the call and Dondas, whatever that is, explained that Taylor had basically more or less a root canal procedure, 2 of them on Monday. Okay, could be true. It was not clear from either the note or the call whether the dental problem was a long-standing one or sudden onset. Let's say the dentist explained that he was not Taylor's regular dentist and did not know his history. Rather, Taylor had called his emergency line at about 6 p.m. on Sunday evening. It's just too convenient there. You try to say you never worked with this guy before? Like, now you got this paperwork there that looks like one of the homies put in a call for you. Like, yeah, I'm his dentist. Allegedly. You know what I'm saying? Like, the convenient Sunday emergency call to your dentist for the root canal. The convenience of the time, and it's crazy, B. There's so much going on here. I didn't know about none of it. I promise you, I'm just seeing this for the first time live with y'all. Rainey's counsel responded by submitting several screenshots from Taylor's Snapchat account. Uh-oh. The photos depicted Taylor smoking something in a dark room under pink neon lights at 2:44 a.m. on Monday, November 14th. That's what I did with Jag. Jag said his car flipped over a million times, and he had just got out of anesthesia and surgery. He had a bone that went through his hip and all this type of stuff. And maybe his brother, a family member, also is in the hospital. And then I went to his stories and I said, you just posted a video. And Jag gets on the phone with me and says, oh, no, that's my team that's posting. It's the same shit happened. What's up with you LA niggas? Nah, I say that with all due respect to all my LA niggas, but that's what this looks like. I've been there before. I've been here before. Literally. That's a real story. I'm telling you. I've been here before. 2:44 a.m. you post this though. All right. On Monday, November 14th, as the judge described the images, it looked as out partying in the middle of the night, just a few hours after he placed a call to an emergency dental hotline. And a few hours before he was due in court in Chicago, the judge denied the continuance motion, stating that Taylor's actions were indicative of somebody who had no intention of appearing at trial. It's not just no intention of appearing. It's flat out being interpreted as fuck you and your legal process and you as a plaintiff. Like, not even just her. Like, the courts are probably looking at this like, how many times you gonna spit in my face too? Nigga, you already had a judgment against you that we put to the side and said, all right, let's try again. You try to move it to different states, try to put it in Florida, try to put it in Cali. You missed this day. It's supposed to be Monday. You don't show up for that. All right, now your lawyers guarantee me you're going to be here Tuesday. Then this dentist situation pops up, this emergency call. I go to your store and I see you out partying. It looks like you're telling all y'all like you just fucking over everybody. That's what it looks like. That's what this is just lawjustia.com, people. That is an official site, people. I'm saying even from TMZ, and TMZ tries to be accurate, but this is law.justia.com, people, that this paperwork is on. I mean, damn, it's still going. I don't even want to read the rest. Like, for what? It's still going. In light of Taylor's absence, the judge gave the following jury instruction. Defendant Jason Terrell Taylor was, and I just skipped over a bunch. God knows what other shit is coming up, but was mentioned at trial, but did not satisfy it in person. You may, but are not required to assume that Mr. Taylor's testimony would have been unfavorable to Mr. Taylor. The jury returned a verdict for Rainey, awarding $1.13 million in compensatory damages and $6 million in punitive damages. Taylor moved for a new trial on several grounds. He again attacked the denial of the continuance and the related missing witness instruction. He also argued that the jury's verdict was against the weight of the evidence. Alternatively, he sought a remitter, whatever that is, of damages. The judge denied the motion and entered judgment on the jury's verdict. This still, look at this refusal to reschedule the trial. It's a lot here. Missing witness instruction, video of the tour bus confrontation. So the court had the video during did they show it? Over Taylor's objection, the judge admitted the video of the tour bus confrontation between Rainey and Taylor. Taylor renews his objection on appeal, arguing that the video was unfairly prejudicial under Rule 403. So they did play the video. Yo, this shit is still going. Have we not given enough context here? Weight of evidence. The paperwork got a lot more there. I'm gonna let it ride. what are we doing with this? You know what I'm saying? Like the actual paperwork paints a crazy picture on game. A crazy picture, B, of arrogance, irresponsibility, not caring. The way the allegations read, like I'm not convicting him of that. I don't know. I wasn't there. I wasn't in the club when him and Shorty was up on stage and supposedly he was groping, did all of that. I wasn't there, and I wasn't on the tour bus. I didn't hear the argument. I wasn't there when Games allegedly said "fuck you, shut up," or get your ass choked, or get the fuck off of this bus or whatever. I'll say this: is it possible that in the club she was okay with what happened, not necessarily inviting it, but not having this type of issue with it? That's possible. You're hanging out when you guys aren't even supposed to, as per the show's rules. Y'all at some nightclub together. He starts groping you and touching you. I don't know if y'all had any energy prior. I don't know if y'all fucked prior already. I don't know that. We don't know that. We don't know the nature of their energy and situation. Still doesn't justify publicly pulling up some, even if it's your girl. I ain't pulling up my girl's skirt in front of a crowd. You know what I'm saying? But it is also possible that she left there and didn't have a $7 million problem. You never know if they were the other girls. The paperwork kind of makes it read like other people that was on the show started complaining that she was out on dates, breaking the show's rules with Game. So if I'm somebody else on the show, I got an issue with that because I'm like, she's able to hang out with Game, you know what I'm saying, outside the show. That's giving her an advantage that we don't have. So the other girls probably want her off the show. So if she got kicked off the show for that, then she could be mad about that. And like, I kind of got kicked off the show because we had an argument in front of everybody about us hanging out. And the reason why we were hanging out and it became an argument is because you groped me up. Allegedly, right? Now, do I have a $7 million problem because you groped me up? No, not at that time. Possibly. Or maybe I do. We don't know the argument. They got the video. Is the video her approaching him and saying, fuck all this show shit, whatever. Don't you ever do what you did last night. Don't you ever touch me like that. We don't know. Or is it like, yo, nigga, like we got this argument or whatever the case may be. And it's like, yo, just shut up. Don't tell nobody that we was hanging out because that breaks the show's rules. And then the other girls having the argument of the unfair advantage that she would have is what got her kicked off. Then she got an issue. You don't know. So I'm not going to try to act like guilty, not guilty. But what I will act like is guilty, not guilty. The way that you handled them courts and all them court dates and all that back and forth, that's wild. That's wild game. Respectfully. All right, let's move on. Benzino. Did Benzino tell on anybody? Is Benzino a rat? Is Benzino a snitch? Him and Wack 100 is getting into it, right? Let's do some backstory first. This was a while ago. This was back in 2014. That's over 10 years ago, people. March 31st, 2014, this article went up. Boston rapper shot in funeral procession says late mom saved him. You know what a funeral procession is, right? That's like the motorcade, right? So like, let's say you're at a wake, right? A wake is, you're there, the family is grieving. Maybe there's a closed or open casket there. Maybe there's services there, pastor there, prayers, music. We know what a wake is, right? And then the funeral procession is now you're going to see everybody get in this motorcade. That's when everybody turns their flashing lights on, and you might all be following each other to, like, let's say the burial site, and then she is, or he or she, whatever, is put into the ground. Okay. So on the way to the funeral or during the funeral procession is when this shooting happened. Okay. And this is a picture of Benzino up in the hospital. Looks like he took one to the arm. Okay. The well-known Boston rap star Benzino told his Instagram followers from his hospital bed at South Shore Hospital Sunday that he believes his late mother may have helped spare his life. Benzino, who was 48 at the time, remember now, in July, he's turning 60. So this was when he was 48 years old. whose given name, Raymond, was shot during a funeral procession for his mother, Mary Scott, en route to Duxbury Saturday afternoon. All right, Raymond Scott, who is both rapper and reality TV star, was shot by his nephew, who was 36 years old at the time. The Plymouth County District Attorney's Office said, "Feel much better." Raymond Scott posted to his nearly 200,000 Instagram followers, "God is real. My mother touched me. I'm certain." Benzino also said, who was shot in the arm and back, told News Center 5 he could not identify the person who shot him and that he and his nephew had not spoken in several years. So at least at the time of this article, 10 years ago, they are saying that in the article that he didn't say nothing about who hit him in the article. All right. However, he acknowledged family disputes involving his mother and money. So he told, this could be the press he's talking to or whoever, but he did pretty much allude to it being a family issue. If you're not going to say who did it and take that stance, then don't even say what it was over. Because if you're saying it's over a family dispute, then they're going to say that, okay, then somebody in your family shot you. Right? So this is one of those things where, depending how you stand, people will say rat, didn't rat, talk too much, shouldn't have said this, whatever. I'm not a street nigga, so I don't really care too much about that, to dissect that, whatever. In the past, I felt my sister and nephew were taking advantage of my mother, Benzino told News Center 5. So why is he telling him that? Money sometimes takes over people's love for each other, even family. Money and greed don't want anyone taking advantage of your mother. So it could be over a will, could be over the mother who passed away's assets being split between the family. We see that type of stuff happen all the time. But at some point, when the cars were side by side, this was the nephew allegedly fired several shots. Actually, he was convicted of this. Several shots into the Dodge SUV being driven by Benzino, the district attorney said. Asked if the argument was over money or enough to have someone shoot him, Benzino said, "People get shot for less. At the end of the day, you have to ask them." Not the greatest answer, but not the worst answer. Right? There were shell casings everywhere. There were 4 holes up the side of the vehicle, which started in the rear, and then all right. So let's leave that for a second. Saying that type of stuff to News Center 5, I wouldn't say is the greatest at all if you're a street nigga, right? No way. Even if you say, "Nah, my nephew didn't do it, and I haven't spoken to him in years," but the things that he did say to News Center 5, prosecution would absolutely use against him, right? So that's as far as the news article goes. But this is what Wack just posted. And this is where it gets compounded pretty badly. So cross-examination, we know what a cross-examination is, right? That means you're up there, right? You're testifying. All right. Question, Mr. Scott, do you also wear contacts or do you wear your prescription sunglasses all the time? Answer, sometimes contacts, sometimes prescription. Question, but today you decided to wear your prescription sunglasses for court. Answer, yes or yep. Question, in any event, do you have taken photographs without your prescription sunglasses? Is that fair to say? The answer, sometimes with glasses, sometimes without glasses. Question, in any event, sir, with respect to your testimony here today, let's start off with your claim that you couldn't attend the funeral because you were shot. Once again, because they were on their way, that motorcade, right? Do you remember that testimony on direct examination, sir? His answer, say again. So we see what Wack is going for here, right? Part of me feels like if Wack could have fully buried Benzino paperwork-wise, he would. If that's the only thing in his possession, I don't know how you get only one screenshot. If somebody has this screenshot somewhere, somebody could have the full thing, right? There's a little gray area there because if he's testifying and he's up there saying, "My cousin or my nephew didn't do it. I don't know nothing about that. Who shot you? I don't know," etc., etc., etc. Because here's the thing about testifying. Let's get to this once and for all. I'm not a street nigga, right? So some people would say I'm not qualified. Fine. No problem. I ain't getting into my past. I ain't getting into my present. I ain't getting into what I project for my future to try to prove to you whether you think I can have a valid opinion on this or not. Maybe I'm just applying logic, right? Either way, logic, experience, whatever angle I'm coming from with my opinion, you guys can determine whether I'm valid or not. That's on y'all. Testifying, no. You realize that people can be held, was it contempt, or you could serve jail time if you are subpoenaed. If they get their hands on you and you don't show up, you can just face jail time for that. It's not about what you say or don't say. It's, hey, we know that you were at the scene of the crime. We got our hands on you. We subpoena you. And if you don't show up, welcome to some jail time, right? You can get up there and maybe plead the fifth. You can get up there and maybe say, I don't remember. You can get up there and say, I have no clue what the fuck you talking about. If that's the testimony and you testified, are you going to be labeled a snitch? Not by me. Not by me. See, like T.I., right? T.I. took the stand because he got subpoenas. It's like, no, we got you. And they put him up there. And if I remember correctly, I don't think he directly said anything about people in particular. I don't think he did. I think what they really be getting T.I. on, they be playing with his name, is two things. Number one, people always say, why you get so little time with the type of shit that you had, silences and automatic weapons and whatnot. That's one thing they play with his name about. The second thing that I remember is the 1-800 number that he did, right? Like the Crime Stoppers commercial that he did. That be like circumstances of like your parole and shit. You know, they did some of that to Meek. They, you know, we're going to give you parole. We're going to, you know, in the midst of your plea deal, Young Thug, you got to show up to 5 schools per year. You got to give a speech. You got to come over here and you got to shake the mayor's hand. You know, you got to come over here and do this public representation and preach positivity. You know, or T.I., you have to do a 1-800 Crime Stoppers commercial. Okay, so those are the things. Those are most of the things that I remember them playing with T.I. about. To me, taking the stand doesn't mean that you automatically snitch. I feel like people are evolving that right in front of our face. They're saying, if you testify, you are a snitch. Now, is there some street code that's happening amongst you gangsters to say, we would rather you just take the time, whether you are subpoenaed or not? The moment that you sit in that seat, you are a snitch. That's our rule. Then y'all play by that rule. I'm not in that world, right? But to me, logically, if I got subpoenaed and I got up there and I said, Big K, nah, like I just book him for rap battles. All right, well, what about the event in question? Word is he punched somebody in the face and you were standing right there. Big K? I never see Big K punch somebody in the face. Big K's not even like that. Big K is one of the softest people, one of the most gentle, kindest people you will ever meet. He would never harm somebody. Yeah, well, we have a victim and we have pictures of somebody with a bloody nose. I never saw no victim. I never saw no bloody nose. I never saw Big K hit somebody. I have no clue. I didn't see this, people. I'm sorry. Yeah, but you there promote and drop trailers endorsing violent lyrics and some of this type of behavior. No, I run an RBE rap battle platform. That's the nature of the art that we bring to the fans. It's a form of hip hop. I've never seen Big K or any artist that I know of to actually conduct themselves outside of the artistry. Now, if that's my testimony, people, are you going to call me a rat, even if I'm a street nigga? What I just said, are you going to call me a rat? I'll tell you, and I'm not a street nigga. If I saw somebody give that testimony that I just gave, I'm never going to call him a rat. So y'all decide if y'all want to follow this new rule that's being created. If you take the stand and you testify, automatically you're a rat. I disagree with it. I don't think it's logical, but y'all do what y'all want. I'm over here paying my taxes and being a civilian. Y'all do what y'all want with that. So I'm calling that out because Wack, you are onto something here. You are, to be fair. But I don't see the rest. What did he say while he was up there? Did he say what we saw in the article, which is, nah, my nephew ain't had nothing to do with this. I haven't even spoken to him yet. I don't know. Now, is that what Benzino did? Or did he get up there and implicate or say things that possibly could have been problematic for the nephew? By the way, I think the nephew actually was convicted. I think he was found guilty, but I think his terms were light, if I remember correctly. I think he might have got like probation or something like that. But it doesn't matter, you know. It would still come down to, what did Benzino say up there? Did he say things that were incriminating? Did he say things that can harm the nephew's defense? Or did he just flat out get up there and say, yeah, he's the one that shot me? I don't know that. So all Wack is showing me is that Benzino testified. Okay? Y'all tell me how y'all feel about this rule of, if you testify, you's a rat. I'll tell you a rule that I understand you street niggas and gangsters standing on, that I could understand. It's not the, if you testify, you's a rat automatically. It's the type of circumstances in which you would take a plea deal. That's what people get at gun about. I could understand you guys going at that. For example, if me and two of my co-defendants get apprehended for robbing a bank, and two of them is taking it to trial and saying, and with them and their own personal legal counsel saying, I wasn't even there, I didn't rob no bank, and I come and I plead out and then say, yes, I robbed the bank. I don't even got to say I robbed it with those two people. It's just saying, yes, because you got all three of us together. Maybe you got footage of three of our faces or whatever. Now, even if those guys probably was going to get convicted because of the evidence, just me simply pleading out, right? They could use that in their trial. Will they not? You never know. But just, you could look at that. Once again, I'll leave that up to you street niggas. How do you feel about that? If you plead out for things that your co-defendants are fighting, they say John Gotti created that rule, right? Like, in my team, nobody's allowed to take pleas. I don't give a fuck if you're facing life. I don't care if it's death penalty. I don't care if it's big or small. Nobody is ever accepting a plea deal on my team. Y'all decide. All right. That's Benzino. Speaking of Wack 100, what's he got? His continued campaign towards the world calling Loose Cannon a snitch, to the point where yesterday we showed Loose Cannon's lawyer came out and put out a public statement. We're not cooperating. Wack 100 is definitely going hard now that Loose Cannon is in jail. Huh? It looks that way. I didn't see half of this energy then before this. But anyway, let's see some of the narrative, and then I'll go into some other footage for y'all. Oh, here we go again with the audio being muted. I hate that. I don't know what's up with that.
That he's currently in. He calls me. We spend maybe the first 5 minutes talking about the fact that Lil Durk, we can get into this more. Lil Durk basically he had his bail revoked, or they didn't give him a bail.
Freeway call. Because
of the fact that he got on stream with academics on a three-way call.
He didn't know.
With Loose Cannon, which, to be fair, seems kind of innocent. A lot of people wouldn't know that that's something that's real strict you're not supposed to do.
I sent you the content. Durk had no idea.
Yeah.
Listen, what Loose did was tell the world, hey, I'm finna get Durk on, come on this. Hey, Act, I'm gonna get Durk on Durk. So Act like, okay, cool. Whole time, Durk don't know. He's oblivious to it. He get on the phone, he say, hey, Durk, Act wanna talk to you.
Right.
Durk here, Act. It's Act.
Got a relationship.
He think it's just a call.
Right.
He ain't knowing that this fool been promoting academics is gonna interview Durk on my YouTube channel.
That is true. We all knew about this before it happened.
He playing the game.
He was
so when Durk gets on the phone, he thinking he just talking to Act on the call. He ain't knowing it's live being recorded. Dude, girl is sitting there thinking like she's the interviewer. In the middle of him talking to Act, she says, so let me ask you a question, Durk. Are you closer to your family now that you're in jail?
Weak ass question.
Durk is like, but see, she had to say something to make it look like this what it was.
It's the interview.
So Durk the whole time is thinking he just talking to Act on the call. By the time he realizes Think about it. Dirk could have called anybody, got a crazy back.
Yeah.
Anybody if he wanted to talk to anybody.
Right.
Including that. He not finna wait to call a dude. He like, yo, act on the phone. He asking for you. So you like, well, fuck it, is act.
Okay, well, that was the first couple minutes of my conversation with Brick Baby. And, we also handled the conversation about, like, I had a clip where I said that ever since I sent Brick money, I ain't heard from him or his girl. And he just made it clear that there's been a lot of shit going on in the prison.
I don't really care about the Brick and the Adam 22 situation right now. Okay. Let's jump to this footage real quick, too. Let me give you my opinions on this. But when they're talking about even some of those calls and the interview that Academics was on with Little Dirk, and when Wack is like, yo, what did that girl even chime in with? I do remember that. It was that moment. And I remember I was like, well, what is she talking about? Like, why she just try to chime in and throw that shit in? Like, what are you doing? Just let Act talk to him. I do remember. We said that on stream, right? But here it is.
How the family?
Family?
Yeah.
My family good. I talk to them. It's the only people I talk to is just family and my lawyer, for real. Just keep my spirits up, keep my energy pure.
How's your relationship with your family now that you're in there? Is it closer?
Huh? What do you mean?
Like, are you closer with your family as far as your relationship? Being up in there talking to them every day?
I don't get what you're saying. You said like I'm close to my family?
Yeah, like now with all that's going on, has it brought you guys closer?
I always been close to my family. I'm a family man.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yes, I've been.
That's what's up. That's Act, man. Getting an exclusive call from Little Dirk from jail is even from a content standpoint, it's big. It's a big situation. From his fan base standpoint, it's very important, right? Maybe you're trying to throw a little help to Loose Cannon here by having his wife. Is that his wife there, right? On with you at the time, but chill out. She had no business. Whatever. I'll leave it there. But that's what Wack was targeting. But I'll say this. From my interpretation of all the paperwork that we've read so far in regards to Little Dirk and his bond denial and everything leading up to as well as after, Wack's accusations are false from what we've read so far, right? It looks like what Wack is doing is what Wack is very capable of. He's got his campaign against Loose Cannon and now his wife. And he's trying to make a point that when Shorty's up there with Ack, and this was one of the main reasons, if not the reason, why Little Dirk was denied bond. Now, in his bond denial, did they say that he was having a bunch of phone calls that were against code or him being allowed to have? Yeah, they said that, but they said it was multiple. They said he was using a bunch of different inmates' calls to have calls for himself and three-way calls and whatnot. They didn't just say one specific call. They didn't calling a podcaster. They didn't, you know what I'm saying? They said they pretty much said it in the paperwork as a pattern of behavior of him not abiding by the rules. But Wack is trying to use that of what they said. He's trying to use that and say to this one instance right here, that's the case. And here's another reason why it's like the paperwork says that's not true, Wack, is they also was talking about like the judge, like this is a murder for hire. I'm good on giving a bond for a murder for hire. Nah, I'm all right. The flight risk thing, the murder for hire, the superseding indictment details, and the phone calls across multiple inmates that he did and multiple three-way calls and all that. They established all of that. And she said, I don't see no reason to give this man bond. Wack took all of that, that whole paperwork. He pulled out the one piece where it said all these different calls. He's breaking the rules. And he pulled that out and said, wait a minute. Little Dirk had a three-way call or a conference call with Academics. I'm using that. Come on. Wack is smart to a lot of mediocre thinkers or dumb people. He's a genius to dummies. But he's very, very calculated and manipulative in the points that he uses when he has grounds in a particular direction. But that judge gave 5 different lanes. Wack only wants to drive down one of them. and there's multiple people even on that road, but he only wants to stop for one because it's tied to Loose Cannon, and he has a vendetta towards Loose Cannon and his wife now. Okay, I'm gonna keep that one simple. Like, I don't need to get in the weeds any further on that one. Big U update. This one is going to be short as well. So the thing with Big U that came in recently is that they're submitting a motion and grounds to protect the confidential information and even some of the identities of the witnesses, right? You see this United States plaintiff versus Eugene Henley, Big U, Unk, Drawers, Hannibal, all that type of stuff. I still laugh anytime I see anybody killer. That's crazy to have in your paperwork. Like, they label you as anybody killer. That can't be good. That cannot be good. Stipulation and joint request for protective order regarding discovery containing personal identifying information, medical information, Privacy Act information, and cooperating witness information. This is the one that's highlighted for everybody. And cooperating witness information. Okay. Proposed order filed separately. So what I do, this is a 12-pager. We don't need to read through it. Let's just search for witness. Okay. Search for witness. Okay. What do you got here? Information related to confidential informants and or cooperating witnesses who may testify at trial. A protective order is necessary because the government intends to produce the defense materials regarding confidential informants or cooperating witnesses who participated in the government's investigation and who may testify at trial. These are people that were working with the government, but at least for Big U's, it's not a win, but they're gonna have to produce that. They're saying here, right? They're going to produce it to the defense materials regarding these people. So you're going to find out who they are sooner or later. But that's another reason why people like that get their bond denied, a Big U, because they think that you could be a threat to even the potential witnesses. Because at some point, when you or your legal team finds out, okay, little Timmy from over there is one of the people that's been working with the government to build a case against me, and I'm outside, they're going to deem that as a potential threat. Hence bail denial. Okay, informants, confidential informants, or cooperating witnesses. The government believes that the unauthorized dissemination or distribution of the materials may expose him or her to potential safety risks. Damn, all I need to do sometimes is read a little bit further, and my point will be made. But just at least I'm aligned with the paperwork, with my thoughts. CW materials include any information related to a confidential informant's or cooperating witnesses' prior history of cooperating with law enforcement, prior criminal history statements, or any other information that could be used to identify a confidential informant or cooperator. They're going to hell and back to keep these people under wraps, as they should, as they would, right? Informant or cooperating witness, such as name, image, address, date of birth. Yeah, that's pretty much what's going on in this motion here. Everywhere you see, I'm highlighting where we got witness. Potential witness must be informed of. Team shall permit a witness or potential witnesses to retain confidential information or any notes generated from the confidential information. Yeah, this is gonna be bugged out when he gets to trial, man. He's gonna see a couple friends that ain't his friends. Gonna see a couple friends that ain't his friends. I think the only person that we have full paperwork on, and well, he interviewed himself, was that party promoter, right? Strong expectation to see that he's going to come into the trial. The guy was doing interviews already, so if you're talking to the public, you're going to talk at trial too, probably. I mean, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. All right, let's jump to Oblak real quick. I don't know these guys. And I will say, I do want to say rest in peace to Oblak members and King Von friends or affiliates. There's lyrics of him rapping about these guys on his songs and pictures of some of them doing interviews prior to all of this stuff that's going on. I don't know these guys, so I'm going to let this video tell the tale a little bit for me. But unfortunately, it looks like 2 more members of Oblak was gunned down, allegedly outside of a bar.
Now, one thing I never understood about the drill culture is how guys could commit crimes, especially like catching a body, and they get on social media and brag about it and let it be known in but so many words that they had something to do with it. They say there's no statute of limitations on catching a body, so whether it's tomorrow, weeks, years, or even decades from now, you could be caught and charged for the body. Now, for some reason throughout the years, it's been cool to now bring street business on social media, and that's been leading to a lot of guys getting caught, whether it's flashing money or flashing guns, getting in interviews saying way more than you need to, or just putting certain things in music that you're not supposed to put in your lyrics. However it go, all this could be avoided if guys just didn't bring certain things on social media. However, in the culture we in now, everybody just got to let you know that they're involved in certain things when they happen. With that being said, it's been brought to our attention that a certain somebody, I'm not going to say no names or any clicks because this is now an open investigation, but they thought it would be a smart idea to get on social media and flash an Oblak chain that was allegedly taken from a Duke or Oblak youngin after they were shot and unalive. Now, keep in mind, all of this is alleged, but I'm going to get into why everybody believes that this is the suspect. And this pretty much led him to delete his social media after he would post a picture in his close friends. Now, we're going to post some pictures, but before we do, make sure you hit that thumbs up button so we can get this video into the algorithm. And if you're not subscribed to the platform already, make sure you do so now. Let's get into it. Now, keep in mind that this is all alleged. We were sent these pictures as it was explained that someone took this from one of the victims that was shot in the early morning while celebrating Oblak Leish's birthday. In fact, the person who sent it said that allegedly this was the Oblak chain worn by Oblak youngin and was taken from him after he was shot and unalive. Here's two pictures of a person with what seems to be an Oblak chain, and apparently he's not supposed to have it, but he will put this picture up in his close friends shortly after news would drop that Munna Duke and Oblak youngin was unalive. Now, if you pay close attention and zoom in, you can actually see blood on the chain. So at first I was skeptical about this belonging to Oblak youngin or Duke or whatever the case may be, until I actually zoomed in, and if you look at the chain, you can see that there's blood on the chain. Now, this will make sense as to why maybe he realized he did too much by posting the picture, because he will then deactivate his social media. But once something goes up, I tell y'all all the time, that's it. Clearly, somebody screenshotted it. Clearly, somebody seen it. Of course, it's going around. So deactivating your social media ain't going to do anything. Now, without saying too much, a certain group of people started posting a certain person right after news dropped about Duke and Youngin. This is because it's rumored that one of the two guys between Duke and Youngin has something to do with the other guy's demise. So usually when guys start posting certain people, when they hear one of their ops pass away, it's usually a symbol of get back and letting it be known that they had something to do with it without actually saying it. Now, I know that probably sounds confusing. Like I said, it's an open investigation. And although some of these guys like to self-incriminate themselves, I'd rather not participate in the ignorance. However, when it comes to these pictures, I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's the self-incriminating at its finest. It's crazy that someone even thought this was a good idea to do. And obviously he put it in his close friends trying to be low key, but clearly whoever he had in them close friends wasn't a close friend, because now it's out and now you deactivated your Instagram. But at this point, it's already out there. So it's still all alleged, but now I think it's clear that the ops did have a hand in it. The only question now is how, right? Did they get the drop? Did somebody just see him, just so happen to be driving by, seeing him and then waited? Who knows, man? Or maybe they was there or know somebody that was at the function. They made a call and yeah. Now, it was also done in the open, so I'm sure real soon we're going to see CCTV footage of the whole shooting, just like how we did with THF-TP, and that was pretty brutal too. But
police arrived at the scene in.
I'll leave it there. The social media stuff, nobody in this chat should be shocked. Like it's nothing new. I can't get the reputation unless y'all know that I was involved. I can't get the satisfaction unless everybody knows that I'm involved. I can't get the clout. I can't get the attention. There's all these reasons why people continue to incriminate themselves. It just is what it is. But that is definitely a trend. Not just Chicago. It's heavy in Chicago, but in a lot of places where even the mentioning of somebody else is an indication of the involvement. Right. So, for example, what I mean by that, let's say King Von gets killed, and then one of his ops posts, "Rest in peace, FBG Duck." What are you saying by that? Right? You picked right now, and this news broke to say to post on your story, "Rest in peace, FBG Duck." People sometimes use that. I won't say all the time, but sometimes use that as an opportunity to say that was get back for FBG Duck. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's done a lot. So all these posts that are already coming out and all these people talking about these two Oblak members that were just killed, it's going to definitely help the authorities paint a paint the direction to go towards if they haven't already. Right. And like I said, I don't know these two guys or these two artists. Rest in peace to them. Just think about lifestyle for a second. I'll leave it here. Think about lifestyle, people, and where you would put yourself. If I'm in this type of environment, these war zones, if I claim a gang, like I would never go to a club if I was a gang member, ever. There's so many people at a club and you have no clue who's who knows you, you just calls getting made. Now you could run into bullshit on any day of the week. You don't even have to be a gangster to run into bullshit. I could just be there in VIP having a good time and some hater just wants to try me or whatever. That can happen. Like it's a shitty world, right? At times. But a gang member, you have this thing called probability. I feel like if I'm a gang member, I'm raising the probability of my ops taking issue with me. If I'm hanging out at bars and clubs and whatnot, there's just certain things I would never do if I was a gang member, or if I had ops, and I was warm with people at the level where lives is lost or blood was shed. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm in war with people, like, oh, one of mine was lost or one of theirs was lost, I'm not going to the club ever. The best I could do is just bring the club to me. I'm bringing look at Julio. Julio was having a whole night out, and I know it wasn't where he was from, right? But even if it's a couple hours away, and then the posting of it on Instagram and whatnot, like if I'm Julio and I'm celebrating my birthday party, the places that he started off, that's how my entire night would be. And I wouldn't have been posting like, yo, who wants the Addy or not? Like, hit me up for the Addy. No, I would have Julio probably knows a lot of people, right? So let's say 15 or 20 people that he can trust. Let's just say 15 people that he thinks he can trust. And even if you extend it past those people to say, of the 15 people that you can trust, you are allowed to bring 1 or 2 guests with you. Right. And I'm going to rent out this mansion. I'm going to rent out this crib, and we're going to celebrate here. I would create my own party. I don't know about y'all, but I can have a great time with just me. And like, if you take just me, 5 ladies and 4 of my boys, 10 of us, that's what type of night we're going to have. We could play spades. We could bump music. We could hang out. We could watch TV. We could laugh. We could get drunk. We could have a great time with 10 people. Me personally, you know what I'm saying? I love going to the club just like the next man. But not if you're a gang member and you in active beef where niggas is dying. I'm never going to these places. And I'm not trying to point blame at the people that lost their life. I'm not one of those people. I do believe in root cause, the shooters. I'm not in the taking of one's life. So you still got to look at them and be like, yo, you still took this person's life. I don't know the nature of those shooters versus the people that were hit. I don't know if they felt that level between those people specifically. I don't know. Or maybe it's just a gang level shit. You rep this, I rep that. I know you here. We on go. Who knows? I don't know the details, and I'm not going to act like I do. But I would just say once again, if you are a gang member and you see the stream, or if you're in this chat, like, just avoid those type of places, y'all. There's no need for it. There's no need for it. You're bringing some strong risks towards yourself, even though it could happen even without being a gang. But still, don't raise the probability on yourself when you don't have to. All right. I'm gonna leave it there. Fun stream as far as topics. What I told you, I got some stuff for y'all real quick. Let's go. I'm gonna go music, then movies, right? Yesterday, this is for 3. This is a question for 3 letter. Yesterday, when I asked y'all, we was making a point about building your space of comfort, i.e. your home, right? And I said, shit, if I had a 1-bedroom apartment in the projects, you know what my shit would look like? And I gave the chat a second to guess what I was talking about with reference. Some of y'all had some dope answers. One of y'all in the chat said Redman, his episode on MTV Cribs. My answer was Coming to America. Yeah, the jacuzzi and all that in the middle of the fucking floor. But that made me think about Redman. So pick an album. This is the more commercially successful one, possibly, I would say. Doc's the name. Incredible album. I don't know if people would label this a classic. Some people may, but it definitely was a very successful album. A lot of people deem Muddy Waters a classic. But I still want to ask y'all, if you had to choose an album, which one are y'all going for? You know, if you're not a Redman fan, which is he's one of the greatest rappers in New Jersey history, he's one of our legends. Like, if you're a hip hop person, you fuck with Redman. It's just how it goes, right? With certain artists, you definitely know what I'm showing here. This, I must have played this a million times, man. Yeah, man, this is. I might have to put this on today while I'm in the gym. I'm reminiscing as I'm looking at it. Muddy Waters, man. Y'all pick one though, because Doc's the Name has some shit. Doc's the Name got a lot of dope features on it too. Of course, Meth is on here. When is he not? It's got Buster on it. I remember that one. He's got Keith Murray and Eric Sermon on it. That's team for him. Dave Hollister's on it. I thought there was more than that. Look at this, skits. This is the days when you got skits on your album. Remember the Fuji skit in the Chinese restaurant? How classic is that? Yeah, couldn't get it through an album without skits. And the reason why I thought about these movies came to mind is because yesterday's theme on some of the topics, especially when we discussed people like Rodney Hinton, revenge stories, right? This is a wicked revenge depiction from what might be a classic movie. It's definitely a top tier movie. Dude's revenge in this movie, I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it. So I'll choose my words carefully. But the end of this at that dinner table, what's the better one? The second Sicarios or the first one? Which one y'all going with? That's not easy for me. If you ask me to choose right now, I don't think I could. Which one do I want? The first one or the second one? I don't know. See, the thing about Sicarios, they're so raw. Like, even the soundtrack and the music to them, they're real raw and gritty movies. I love both Sicarios, man. I don't want to pick. I really don't. There's a little bit of revenge in here. A little bit. I'm definitely giving this the classic label. Absolutely. There's some revenge in here, right? He came back. He came back for his at the end, right? Django. Quentin Tarantino is he's so different, man. He really sets himself aside from everybody. But Django, I could watch Django 20 times a year. I probably won't complete the movie every time I put it on, but Django is one of those movies that I could just put on, just randomly. Like, let's say I'm about to fall asleep and I feel like falling asleep to something as I drift off or whatever. I know I'm going to be awake for like another 30 minutes. I could put on Django. Or Hateful Eight is another one for me. Just, I have a couple movies that I play and I don't even have the intention of watching them fully, but they're just so dope, especially if they have heavy dialogue, like and dope dialogue, like a Hateful Eight. I could play movies like that 20 times a year. It's weird, but classics. All right. Hope we enjoyed today's stream. I really don't want every Saturday and Sunday stream to go over 2 hours. Jesus Christ. But we got topics to cover, and sometimes we build in the middle in our transitions, and we have fun at times, and we laugh and we joke and we bring up comments and everything. That's another reason why the full episodes Monday through Friday would definitely be shorter, because there's not really a chat like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm less interactive. But on Saturdays and Sundays when I'm here and I'm politicking with y'all, you know, it's going to run longer. You know, I'm answering questions. I'm bringing up super chats. I'm seeing the responses of how y'all vibing over there. So, all right. Happy Sunday. Once again, happy Mother's Day, y'all. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. And I'm going to start getting clips from today up. And tomorrow, keep your eyes on the channel for the dropping of the full joint if you're a member, the full stream. And if you're not, once again, hit it on Spotify. But at least the topics, the main topics from back to that type of program tomorrow, the topics will be available for anybody. You don't have to be a member. So cut your subscriptions on and notifications, and you're going to probably see like 4 or 5 uploads tomorrow and every day, Monday through Friday. That's how it is. This channel is up now. We working. All right, I'll be back in a second, y'all.
Don't confuse silence with work ethic. I'm a boss making decisions, my first fetish. The verse cherished is perfect, that's a reverse blemish. I dropped it, connected the block, learn Tetris.
This is the Sorry True Podcast. Welcome to the house of. And shout out to the members.
Without, I think still got a gun.